Hello there, everyone, and welcome to Super Week here at Esports Anchor. It's time for some Southeast Asian action. This is going to be a bumper week. 3 games over 2 days instead of the standard 1-3 split. I'm Verbaloxley alongside Woofin for the first day. Woofin, are you reading?
I am reading and excited to watch some more SEA games. The last time I casted this was an absolute blast, and so I'm looking forward to some more action.
Now, a little addendum. You are seeing on your screen Get On My Level versus Orphan Squad, but we do have some unfortunate news. If you've been keeping your head to the ground or to the Esports Anchor Twitter page, you may have seen there was a competitive ruling for Team Blitz. Unfortunately, they have disbanded, and of course, per the rules, you need to actually be able to field a team to play. So, because of that, their slot will be sacrificed, and it will be going to the 7th place team, the ones who just missed out on actually getting through relegations, Team Return. And that means the second match of the day, Loyal versus Blitz, is going to be postponed till the end of the split. Unfortunate, but Team Return will be playing that one at a later date. But enough about the future, onto the current state of affairs. Get On My Level versus Orphan Squad.
Yeah, so looking right into these bans, we see Thoth and Terra on the side of Get On My Level, along with Susno and Osiris. So pretty standard bans on both sides, but we actually see the Scylla pick up here first. Yeah, I'm very interested to see this Scylla to picked up in that #1 spot here, Verb.
Yeah, Scylla is a very strong pick in this scene. A lot of times teams can whiff on positioning, and you do have a couple of key players who can play Scylla extremely well. 2 of them being in this game, Bling Bling Shan and Hokage Devil, both have absolutely devastating Scyllas.
Right, but this Ganesh is a more standard pick along with this Ho Yi. I've been loving Ganesh play recently, just his silence and overall his peel and damage. Early game, he's an absolute monster as well, so really looking forward to seeing some Ganesh play along with Ho Yi, who's no slouch early game.
Now, Ho Yi, of course, may see some swaggy bounces. I imagine since that's an Orphan Squad, that's going to go to McTD Swag. Meanwhile, Rom going to be picked up there for Get On My Level. An extremely strong pick for Maker White. Maker White can do some absolutely barbaric stuff with him in the past. We've seen him steal multiple objectives, get multiple double and triple kills inside of the snipe. Geb, I assume that's going to be going to Ashu. Ashu's Geb, that's going to be an extremely nice complement to avoid things like the Ganesh, CC off of the obstacle clear, the dash, and Bologna, of course, the CC off of the jump. You're going to be able to actually stone shield that out as well.
As we get into this second phase of banning, I just want to mention that Geb has been seeing a resurgence recently, so I'm excited to see this Geb play. I'm excited to see how he uses his shields, how effective he is in using these shields. You can't waste them because they're so important, and, you know, against the powers of Ganesh, you really need to have some strong peel on your team and strong support.
Now, second stage of picks and bans coming your way. Get On My Level, going to go with the Hun Bats, but Orphan Squad, that is going to be Daji, we're being informed. That is not a pass. There's a slight whiff on our end, but that's going to be the Daji. Keep that in mind. And a Wheelish by Orphan Squad. So Daji and a Wheelish being taken out by Orphan Squad. Daji, of course, is legal now. I believe Kukathulin is still not yet quite on the table. But with Daji being experimented with more and more as Ket is banned by Get On My Level. What's your take on the Daji here, Wolf?
I mean, Daji is an underrated powerhouse. She does so much damage, and her only real problem is late game getting out of fights. So you need to be really conscious about your ult and when it's on cooldown, when it's not. But apart from that, she's just a very, very powerful, burster, almost like a Loki, except more consistent.
Yeah, of course, the dot damage can be extremely effective. Of course, when she first came out, she was a complete dumpster fire of a god, but with the buffs that have come away, she's a lot more competent now on the battlefield of the gods. Nemesis going to be locked in by Orphan Squad. That's going to give them a good bit of protection shred to get around the Geb. And now the Erlang Shen protections. Get On My Level going to be opting for Erlang Shen. And the Hebo! That's going to be Hebo. Now, side note, there is a replacement, as you know, again, for Get On My Level. Get On My Level seem to have almost an impossible time fielding a full roster. Trevorlo going to be subbed out by Face. And the Hebo. So Scylla's already on the table. Do you think this is going to be a Hebo jungle after the buffs?
I mean, after the buffs, you just have to imagine that it's going to be a Hebo jungle. That delay reduction on his 1 really allows him to get that burst in a lot quicker and more efficiently, as we see Soul being the final pickup here for Orphan Squad. I'm definitely excited to see this Hebo.
All right, we're going to be loading into a game in a moment or two. I'm definitely going to give the advantage to... Well, actually, You know, I'm going to take that bat, Wolf. I'm going to hold that. Both of these teams do have very balanced compositions. Ganesh is going to give a lot of grief to Geb, to Hebo, to Scylla, trying to get things done. But on the other side of things, Gen on my level have great anti-CC for Orphan, getting rid of Orphan Squad stuff like the Nemesis CC, Sol CC. Well, actually, everyone on Orphan Squad has pretty heavy CC now that I think about it.
Just looking overall, I would have to give the slightly to Orphan Squad, not because of the Hebo pick. I don't actually mind that Hebo whatsoever. It's more just the fact that they have Bellona, and Bellona overall in this matchup in the solo lane is going to be a little bit more effective. As you actually see FaZe taking a lot of damage overall here, forced to use Bracer almost instantly.
Oh, hang on. Unfortunately, slight technical difficulties, a little bit of DC got our end. We're going to fix that as soon as possible. Many apologies. All right,
ladies and gentlemen.
Apologies about that. We had a slight mix-up with the synchronizations, but we're good now. We're good. We're Gucci.
We should be Gucci as we see this solo lane action getting right out of hand. We see this clashing. Both junglers actually deciding to start over in this solo lane. Do you think that's become the more standard meta?
Yeah, you'll often see most action in Southeast Asia Wolf heavily focus around mid and the solo lane. You'll see that a lot more than other areas of the regions. OCE, EU, NA mostly subscribe to the heavy mid and jungle pressure, but you'll often see a good bit of skipping over the jungle as mainly a transition from the occasional fights around the buffs to heavily focus on the lane specifically.
Righto, so
I'm actually curious less about the matchup of the gods, more about the players here, Wolf. I'm not too familiar with FaZe, if I'm entirely honest with you. I'm very familiar with Custard. He's an extremely experienced jungler here in Southeast Asia. He's done incredible work on the Nemesis in the past, so I'm very, very intrigued to see how FaZe performs in this match.
All right, looking at this, we see Orphan Squad going ahead and taking this speed buff from Get On My Level, but we actually see the Geb rolling in. Does he manage to steal it? No, he doesn't. Now they're actually going to go ahead and start aggressing onto the Geb. Geb taking quite low. He's already on half health, throwing out the peel there, trying to get himself out. Girdle forced. He actually pops his shield onto himself, and it looks like he's actually going to get away scot-free for now. Neither team actually picking up a kill there for now.
You want to keep it careful. Face doing a good bit of burst damage. Gonna get hit with a full bludgeon to the face. First blood going to Orphan Squad. Meanwhile, Get On My Level going to try and avenge their fallen comrade here. Ashu down to a third. And Bling Bling almost he's able to actually get killed, and it gets out courtesy of the stone shield.
Yeah, but now Geb himself is going to fall to its Custard. Custard picking up that kill. That's 2 kills on the side of Orphan Squad, and now they get a free blue buff as well as that speed.
That's gonna suck for them. Get On My Level certainly love to try and thrive on the early game aggression. Orphan Squad can try and hold out for as long as they can, and especially with this lead that they've just gotten, you know, with the first blood, taking the speed, taking the blue, and also getting that kill, that's gonna really put a wrench in the works of Get On My Level's early game.
Yeah, and just, it's always important, as you said, to see if a late game team or the more late game team starts to get a lead, then it's going to be very, very good for them indeed, because they can start snowballing, and then the early game team is just going to collapse. As we actually see this aggression continue in the mid lane here, Silence coming out from the Ganesh to try and pick up Bling or Ashu, but Ashu manages to keep himself safe, instead of having to actually get Peel on for his teammates here in the mid lane. Looks like this team fight's just going to die off here, and is that actually a Hebo solo?
Yeah, looks like with the substitution, they've actually opted to do a role swap as well. Bling Bling trying to stay on the mid, but Get On My Level transitioning from his standard solo lane role to the jungle. Okay, Get On My Level, you have my attention. I'm super curious to see how Get On My Level does as a jungler. He's a very dominant solo laner if he can get ahead and he can get the ball rolling, and that would transition well to a jungle style if you can keep the momentum, well, keep the momentum going. So let's see if that actually helps out here, or if this early bit of malfortune is going to put a bit of a dampener on that.
You know what I think it might actually be? I think the matchup is actually the reason they've done this. I feel like FaZe was planning to go into that jungle and then decided, because of the Bellona just being so powerful against an Erlang early on, just deciding to get that Hebo can just play it safe and poke with his 3.
Yeah, the poke's going to be extremely useful against the Bellona. You can poke out of her range, and also considering the buff that Hebo just had, to where he can use his 1 with next to no recovery frames. He can do the 1-3 or the 3-1 very quickly and then get himself out of dodge with a water carpet. So let's see how well he does in that fight, and also with a bracer that makes him even more safe as well.
We actually see it's Custard getting right behind Bling here, but deciding not to actually engage on him there. Could have been a potential gank opportunity, but deciding not to do that. Instead, we see just both teams rotating to this mid lane, getting their farm. ADC has been left mostly to themselves this game. I mean, I'm not too familiar with these ADCs, Verb.
Yeah, TD Swag, Maker White, both very competent. Maker White has had a bit more success. Oh, it looks like mid lane here, though, in the jungle area. Custard taking a big damage, gets immediately blown up by Bling Bling Chan.
Yeah, Bling Bling Chan on the ultimate there, getting a double kill, face picking up another onto the India guy. That's going to be 3 kills for the side of Get On My Level, showing that they are on the level of Orphan Squad currently. Bling Bling actually extremely low himself. Hokage just managing to pick up that kill as well.
Meanwhile, we're going to see left side. Going to Big TD Swag one-on-oneing, Maker White. Which one of the ADCs is going to win on this cage? And the snipe is good. Unfortunately, Big TD Swag's jukes were not that good. But it sucks that Hokage Devil is now going to get chased through the jungle. 3 versus 1. Orphan Squad's reinforcements are coming through the northern side of the jungle to assist.
Yeah, luckily Hokage had that immunity on his 3 as the solo. Now they actually get this counter engage over here, but it looks like Asher and the rest of his team do manage to get away. These Geb shields have really been on point right now, but it does allow Orphan Squad to pick up that speed buff once again.
Yeah. It's going to be nice to grab that, keep Cuss's momentum rolling. You know, Orphan Squad, it sucks that Hokage wasn't able to go off in that fight as maybe he would have liked. He definitely loves getting ahead on these mid laners quickly and then snowballing for the rest of the team. Now, of course, there is the other dynamic of Custard and India guy work extremely well together, but most of their super dominating performances have been on double warrior compositions, but this is an assassin warrior, so the dynamic is slightly different for Orphan Squad than we're used to.
Yeah, this Nemesis pick is a very powerful one in the current moment, and it's going to be really useful, especially mid-game against that Geb, as we actually see this Geb just rolling around in the mid lane, being that big rock that he is, and they're going to actually rotate over to this Gold Fury. I mean, are they actually thinking of doing this?
if they are doing it, this is going to be very, very risky. There's also fighting in the solo lane, but at the same time facing the guys squaring off, but it looks like over at the Gold Fury, it's going to be semi-bait. Get on my level, trying to bait an Orphan Squad, but Orphan Squad's not having it for the most part. Solo lane is split apart, back to the Gold Fury here. Custard going to reflect the damage from the Crush.
Yeah, Ashu actually forcing himself to use a shield, and he does allow his team to retreat, and that's exactly what Ashu's been doing this whole game. They just keep on allowing his team to retreat out of these fights, which are not necessarily in that favor, which prevents them from falling behind. They could have lost so many deaths on their team to Orphan Squad if they did not have that Geb shield.
Speaking of Geb shield, Ashu, down half health, needs to keep himself a little bit wary. He can be bursted down deceptively fast if caught inside of Stellar Burst into a couple of swipes from Custard. And that is not something that Get Up level want right now. They've successfully managed to regain some of the momentum advantage. Vintage gonna get caught inside the 9 turns blessing. Maker White gets the first kill of the fight.
Maker White making a huge rotation there and picking that kill onto the Ganesh as we see. Now we see it's Custard getting rather low himself, but he does manage to back off, and Hokage actually does pick up Bling Bling there. A nice trade there for the mid laner of the side of Orphan Squad as a Kuyi ultimate thrown out, but unfortunately not actually picking up anything. No, actually, Get On My Level might actually fall down. Yes, McTD Swag does pick up that kill, but now Ash is trying to respond. Throwing out his ultimate, just barely missing it. Frenzy Pop, though, as well, to see if Maker can somehow make something happen here, but it looks like he's making his own death as Hokage picking up another kill. That's 3 onto the Soul. Huge early game pressure.
Yeah, there's going to be a nice little bit of the regain there for both teams. Meanwhile, in solo, more fighting going on, facing India guys squaring off yet again. We can't even get a moment to talk about the actual game. There's so much bloody fighting. Yeah, that's pretty much the long and short of it. There's so much fighting that usually ends up happening in SEA. It can be to the detriment or the advantage of different teams depending on the scenarios. Like here, for instance, it looks like somehow India guy is getting away. It comes to the cavalry face, pops the brace. Are going to give him just enough time to finish off India guy and get to the tower just before Hokage is able to kill him.
Yeah, but speaking of, there's a bit of a clash over here near the Gold Fury in regards to the wards, but luckily, neither team decides to fight there. I'm not really sure who that's lucky for at this point, but it's 6-6 on the scoreboard. Actually, looking at the graphs here as well, we see a very slight lead towards Orphan Squad. How do you feel like both teams have been playing this, though?
Pretty darn good. Both of these teams are middle of the pack right now in terms of standings. Orphan Squad are ahead of Get On My Level. But unfortunately, in this case, usually both of these teams are used to getting ahead quickly early on in this particular scenario. So it's very, very surprising to me to see both of these teams literally going tit for tat this even at almost 10 minutes in.
But we actually see the Ganesh ult thrown out, and so has Sillers, but unfortunately she misses for herself. Ganesh now using that Silencer's Peel to try and pick up Get On My Level, but Get On My Level does manage to get on his own level and escape. Now Ashu just trying to zone out for the rest of his team. McTD Swag picking up Bling Bling with the ultimate from the Huyi. A very nice pickup there. Good trade for himself. Ashu unfortunately did not have the shield on cooldown to try and save his teammate.
Yeah, that shield has a pretty long cooldown early on in the game. Face now going to put most of his abilities on cooldown, uses the wave, goes right over Custard. Custard somehow alive, snipes from Maker, too far out of range. Face able to clean up with the water spout. India guy going to be the next target, looking to try and get an ability or two himself, but no, they're going to peel away.
Yeah, Face just doing so much damage on this Hebo. Looking at his build so far, he's actually got Shoes of the Magi and started his tier 2 Bancross, so a very, very power-hungry start on Face, and he's doing a very, very good job in this solo lane.
Yeah, getting that amount of power early on with a Hebo, super helpful. You know, you're able to be an intimidating presence at multiple ranges. If India guy wants to step inside and trade with the bludgeon, you're going to get hit with multiple water spouts, and then probably a full-on crush as well. If you want to stay a little bit far away, you're just going to get water spouted into the water cannon. So there's not that much room that the guy really has, and you see he's already having to go back to base again, which means he can't help his team out trying to protect the Portal Demon, which Get On My Level is currently about to take.
Yeah, but seeing that as well, Orphan Squad did manage to get the Gold Fury, so that's a pretty standard objective trade going on there for both teams. Both teams playing this very well, actually. Very neck and neck, especially. Considering how much aggression there's been, it's actually quite surprising to see that neither team has really pulled out an amazing snowball lead at this point. I mean, yeah, which team would snowball it better? I'm not quite sure as we see this mid lane continue. Face actually jumping in to the mid lane, bursting Hokage so much. Ultimate actually thrown out picking up Hokage Devil now, but he needs to retreat himself, but luckily he has the carpet, but no! McTweety Sag says, I have an ultimate and I'm going to use it.
That's going to be unfortunate for the Harbor. He's going to be out for 30 seconds, can't help out, although actually Ashu may not need the help. Pops the Cataclysm. Ashu has popped so many Cataclysms this game, and most of them haven't really hit the mark, unfortunately. There's one or two that have been pretty good, but most of them have been whiffed, so maybe a little bit of nerves here from Ashu or just a miscommunication.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see him throwing them out, though. He's not just holding on to them, waiting for the perfect moment that might never come, so I'm not too angry about that, as we see the Bellona deciding to rotate over here, seeing if she can pick up something instead. Just going to say, well, a speed buff's pretty good as well.
You know, grab the speed buff, keep it away from getting my level, you know, keep the momentum off of him and keep the speed off. You know, the last thing you need is get on my level, being able to rotate faster than he usually does and try and get on top of you. But he isn't having the greatest game. He's 0-1 and 3. You know, he's under level compared to the enemy team's majority, so he's not going to be able to do massively unless he can get a really good 9 turns blessing. To be fair, he has got a couple of them off in fights so far.
Yeah, that 9 turns blessing is a very, very powerful ultimate on the Erlang Shen, just allowing him to both taunt the enemy, so CCing and pulling them into him, but also getting a heal off on himself for some more survivabilities. We actually see the Ganesh here on Vintage actually rotating in, dropping down the Dharmic Pillars, doing huge damage in CC for his team. Ashu getting quite low. The silence coming out from Vintage as well, but unfortunately, Ashu just manages to get away, and Bling does pick up Custard, and now Vintage is looking quite low himself. There's no real chance for him to try and escape. Cataclysm used excellently by Ashu. You were saying before, maybe he's a bit on nerves, but it looks like he's on point.
I'm not sure whether to call that Orphan Squad getting too greedy or a great bait by Get On My Level, but no! Get On My Level getting ricocheted to death by Muktini Swag with the Mark of the Crow bonus stun. Face now 1 versus 3. He does have the wave if he needs to get out of there, but no, he's going to use it to go adjacently and take out Muktini Swag. He's still going after using the bracer, going to hit Hokage, hits India Guy, almost kills Hokage of all people. If he killed him, that would have just been Maker from the side! Snipes Hokage. Can these teams just stop fighting for a moment, please?
SEA. Those are the 3 letters I'm thinking of right now. I am just so happy to see that it's an absolute crazy fiesta going on right now. I mean, this Hebo's doing so much work, and this is, I believe, this game was actually on the patch before the actual current patch, so he wasn't even buffed at this point, and he's doing so well.
Yeah, it's going to be... well, not even necessarily with that buff, you know, he still has the water spout into the huge amount of burst, and he's hitting the waves consistently. Face, every single time, is able to land a crushing wave, either as a defensive mechanism, but usually with a defensive mechanism, while also getting good damage at the same time. That kind of efficiency is what you absolutely need. It is a imperative to play hardware well, and so far, Face is displaying that in huge ways. You know, look at the player damage numbers right now. 13,000 damage. The only closest rival, Hokage Devil, with 9,000.
Yeah, this Hebo's... The real reason... I mean, I'm going to use a fighting game term here, but his footsies, or the, you know, medium range where he just steps around the enemy, have been so on point that have really allowed Face to have this amazing effect on Hebo. It's almost how you play him in Duel. In the other mode, you just like play and you dance around the enemy, and then you get that poke, and then you just use that crushing wave for that final blow. It's been absolutely excellent on Face.
Get On My Level now, going to be in his usual territory of knocking down solar lane towers. Going to grab that for Get On My Level. Orphan Squad with the early start, the early success, now going to be on the back foot themselves after a relatively even game. PV Swag dueling against a Maker White, but looks like in the jungle here there's about to be an absolute skirmish.
Yeah, Get On My Level getting very, very low. Luckily, he might get the ultimate healing onto himself, but unfortunately, the silence coming out from Vintage allows India Guy to pick up that kill, but Custard is extremely low himself, and Face does pick that off, using the range of his 3 to just pop him up into the air and blow him out of control. Now, Vintage looking a little bit in threat. Face just playing so aggressive on this Hebo, actually poking out India Guy a little bit more. I mean, Face is just completely safe at this point. He's got tier 2 Breastplate of Valor to allow himself to keep himself alive, as he just continues to trade blows with this solo laner India Guy. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy how Hebo's just playing in this middle range here, and he just continues to burst him out. Ashu trying to help out Face to pick up this kill, and he's just barely alive, and it looks like Ashu picks up that kill onto India Guy.
You were talking about the matchup. We saw prime demonstration of why it's so hard to run a Bologna into a Hobwa because of that knockup. Anytime you want to use Brutalize, Water Spout. Anytime you want to go for any big long duration ability, Water Spout. So a lot of the time, India Guy isn't able to go for anything too crazy. The bludgeon can't be used as long as Face is hanging about. And because of that, Orphan Squad, combined with the fact that in that last fight, they were very disorganized, there was a lot of times where they were just running away, looking, all right, who do we go for? Who do we go for? Without actually being able to go in with some kind of semblance of coordination, unfortunately. That's going to result in, get them leveled, grabbing that fight nice and easily, although we did just see Orphan Squad grab themselves their second Gold Fury, so that's going to take the golden XP deficit lower in their favor.
Yeah, as we see this sieging in the mid lane, I actually want to look at the graphs as you mentioned that Gold Fury, because XP is on the side of get on my level, but gold is actually equal right now. So Orphan Squad really keeping their items on check here by using that Gold Fury. But now we see get on my level here with the 3k experience lead going onto this Portal Demon as well. Ashu just trying to tank it for his team. Unfortunately, he has to back off. He's in a bit of danger here right now.
Yeah, both teams currently just doing the Portal Demon dance this time. A relatively new dance introduced that's going to keep them out of range for the most part. Although Face feeling very confident going 1 versus 2, but he does have a 3-level advantage, 4 in the case of Vintage and Custard. So that's going to give him a little bit more reason to be confident. Rest to get him a level, going to follow in. 9 turns Blessing into the knockup, into the use of the armor mod. So that's going to be a huge amount of damage.
Now, India Guy's extremely low himself, but Hokage did pick up Bling Bling. That's going to be huge, but they have another mage there as Face picks up that kill and Mako picks up another onto McTeedy swag. Just the fact that they have 2 burst mages means they have so much burst. As Get On My Level picks up Vintage as well, they're going to be able to siege up this right side, maybe even go for a Fire Giant if they pick up another kill. Looks like they're not going to, though. Hebo is behind. It's Custard and Hokage. Will he be able to pick up something here using that cup to get in? Geb Shield thrown out to keep his solo laner alive. It's Custard taking a lot of poke. That was just one from the Hebo, and now Hokage is just poof, gone.
Gone. Was there ever even a Hokage? That
Naruto.
With a soul as well. I was tempted because the Aussies say Hokage, you said Hokage, and I was like, hang on, have you not seen it? But you have seen it. Now, something to ask you here, Wolf. I have a personal question. In OC, we do often see Shogun's Kusari picked up somewhat earlier. This is a very early pickup for SCA, though. Usually you see that maybe 1 item later. Is the reason Get On My Level picking up Shogun's Kusari to enhance himself, or to give Maker White a huge boost?
It's both. It's really both. And not only that, it helps his team to group up and pick up towers. This item is absolutely bonkers. If you ever hear me casting in the Opel, you'll know I'm just saying, where's that Shogun's Kusari? Have you picked up Shogun's Kusari yet? Have you picked it up? Yes, they have picked it up, and that's going to really allow them to not only buff their damage onto players, but also towers, because if the whole team's grouped up with a Shogun's Kusari, they're going to attack really fast onto that tower.
Wolf, I'm going to have to redirect your attention to Orphan Squad's items. 2 Stones of Gaia. They are not happy with Face or Ashu.
Nope, not at all. Those Stones of Gaia are going to allow them... Yeah, it's going to stop the knockups.
How often do you see 2 Stones of Gaia picked up these days? Stone of Gaia is still a great item, but you rarely ever see it.
Yeah, I mean, they just really don't like Face right now. He's 7-2-3, just showing the power of Hebo pre-patch as well. So I believe the rest of the games today will be played post-patch, but apart from that, Face just showing how much burst and juking potential that Hebo has.
Yeah, the water carpet is deceptive. It is a narrow lane, but it's a long distance. So you can use it to go forwards and backwards. There is a little bit of left and right juking you can do on the water carpet. And of course, it makes you slow and immune and gives you a huge movement boost as you level it. So you are able to juke decently effectively combined with the disruption off of the water spout.
Yeah, water spout, just an excellent ability. I mean, we always like to say in Smite that Hebo has 3 ultimates, and he's really showing that today because they do just so much damage. As we see this tower getting sieged up, and Shogun's Kusari is used perfectly here because it's allowing them to attack that. Dummy Pill is actually thrown out in the backline, though. Vince is trying to do some sort of peeling. It actually might save the tower here for now. And we see the huge Bologna ultimate coming out from India guy, trying to slam onto FaZe, but FaZe not actually taking that much damage. He's level 18. He's a huge, absolutely fed Hebo, and Vintage actually being the one who's burst down. Unfortunately, FaZe missing that ultimate as well, though Hokage are throwing out that 2 as well to try and get some sort of burst, and they do manage to pick up this tower for Get On My Level.
Custard gonna drop there. He's gonna get completely devoured. Get on my level. The team now gonna be setting their sights on the tier 2 in the mid to nab themselves 2 more structures for their tally. The rest of the Get on my level gonna be more of a zoning measure to allow the 2 physicals, or at least the 1 physical in this case, to start chewing down this tower. Would probably be a good idea if Maker White was able to help out, but he's too busy trying to help Get on my level push down the tier 2 in the left as well. Orphan Squad, this is a drastic turnaround. This went from a very even game to, within 5 minutes, Get On My Level firmly taking the reins. Look at the graphs here, Wolf. 12k XP, 6k gold.
I mean, what it really comes down to is the fact that Orphan Squad had pretty decent objective control. They got those first 2 Gold Furies, but then Get On My Level in team fights just played so much more effectively and so much more in synchronization that really allowed them to pull off ahead. And now you can see they actually get to pick up these objectives now once they've gotten themselves fed off the kills.
Yeah, having that kind of advantage, you know, especially with late game characters like Ram, who's already level 20 and has just finished his last item, unless he's going to opt to sell the Ikevol. Bling Bling Shan, who is, you know, close on his heels at level 16. Face is level 19. Already has the Spear of Desolation. He's probably going to sell Bumbers at some point once he finishes the Obsidian Shot to go for a Brother Tahuti. Get On My Level has a lot of heavy backline hitters. Orphan Squad, however, a lot of their guys who dive the backline are very underleveled compared to their opposition.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. Unfortunately, despite Get On My Level not having actually that much peel, they do have the Geb Shield and the Erlang to do a little something about that. But it's just that it's Custard, India, and Vintage are all so underleveled compared to the enemy team that even though they are diving, it's not really doing enough damage.
Yeah, and they can try and survive a bit more. You know, we're seeing Hide of the Urchin, and India's going for a relatively tankier build. Custard opted to grab a Stone of Gaia, and of course Vintage, you know, he's Ganesh. Nothing else needs to be said about that one. Of course, he's going to be tanky. Even then, you need to be able to DPS them down quickly. You can only sit and stand and trade for so long. In spite, you eventually are going to get bursted down, especially up against a team that has this much backline burst as Get On My Level. Friends are going to be popped, though, inside the Fire Giant pit. Let's see what happens. Is Orphan Squad going to go in?
Yes, they are, as they continue to just storm through into this Fire Giant pit. Who actually managed to pick that up? It looks like Get On My Level do secure that Fire Giant, and now FaZe saying, I've got a Fire Giant buff, I'm a level 20 Hebo, I'm coming to get you. He's like the wolf chasing down sheep there as he does so much damage. Actually using that stun to help his Hebo out, pick up that kill. FaZe just doing absolutely monstrous amounts of damage as Maker does manage to say, hey, I can pick up kills too.
Get On My Level now. They are absolutely going to be looking for at least Phoenixes here. They have just did a full deicide, and they might even want to go for the win. The closest enemy god to come up is Hokage at 19 seconds. So if they can grab this Phoenix quickly, they could try and just ignore Hokage and nab themselves this first game in the best of 2. Get On My Level, going to be grabbing themselves Phoenix nice and quick. Let's go. All right, they're going to go for it. They're going to go for the win.
This is a smart play, as they do have 2 mages and Maker as well. They are just going to absolutely shred this Titan. It's almost just like it's a creep. No, massive Titan. It just gets blown up.
Damage. Late game damage from Get On My Level. But here's the worst thing. Late game damage expedited to 25 minutes. That's usually when you're starting to get into the, like, mid-late. You're not supposed to be going up against a 10-2 Hubwort and a 5-on-1 ROM that early on.
It's just incredible. It's SEA.
That is... I've got to say, like, also as another side note, a lot of that time, early on, Get On My Level weren't doing too well in engagement. Ashe was whiffing some Cataclysms. But Get On My Level really did a good job adapting and adjusting to how they need to play. Ashe was seeing some critical knockups alongside the Cataclysms as well, extending the CC, which was allowing Bling Bling Shan to start doing so much work with the roots, then the crushes, which gave Get on My Level and Face more time to set up, which gave Maker more time to set up. It was just a cataclysmic conundrum of stuff, which Orphan Squad simply couldn't do too much about. Even their relative tankiness in their builds can only last for so long in the face of those odds.
35k damage. That's all I want to say. No, but also the Get Up shields coming out onto Face early game actually allowed him to survive and not get picked off early on, which allowed him to get so fed and to get that 35k damage in a 25-minute game. That's over 1,000 damage per minute. Absolutely incredible, but that should be it for this match. We'll be taking a short break.
Ready?
Yep.
Welcome back, everyone. Many apologies for the delays. We had to go revive the hamsters, put them back on their wheels, and put out the various fires, but we're back! It's now time for Game 2 in this best of 2 set. I appreciate you get the joke. It's going to be 1-0 currently to Get On My Level. Hopefully Orphan Squad can grab themselves the 1-1, or let's see if Get On My Level can grab themselves the 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, it could go either way in SEA. I mean, so much fighting. So much fighting, and it's just
I'm glad you're
wonderful.
here, Wolf, that you're here consistently. You can see, people say, oh, like OCE and SEA, they're the same thing. They're on the same part of the hemisphere, right? No, they are not. OCE is actually somewhat sane. Like,
Slightly.
SEA can get pretty funky at times. That's one of the best things. It's always interesting. It may be an absolute cloud fiesta and like a ranked game sometimes, but it's always fun. We can guarantee that here at Hi-Res TV.
Yeah, but always these first 4 bans are always so standard that it makes you like, it lulls you into this false sense of security. You're like, oh, it's just going to be a normal NA-esque game or EU-esque game, and then let's just see what this first pick is, and you're just going to be amazed, surely.
Yeah, for the most part, the teams, they can be intriguing, eccentric, but they're not suicidal. They won't go with the kooky first bans. They get rid of the power players first, then they start going into their flavor picks, into the bag of tricks, that kind of thing. Get On My Level, going to be going for the Ravan. Now, that, of course, can go to a couple different people. Bear in mind, there has been a substitution this time for Orphan Squad. Orphan Squad have swapped out their jungler to Sir Drakon. He's had to hop in. Now, Orphan Squad going to pick up their mid and their jungle by the looks of it, but with a small asterisk. Ashu is on Get On My Level, and they do have a Thor support in their lineup. Ashu does play that, so I imagine this is going to be going to Get On My Level or Face, depending on which way they want to play this, but that could be it.
Yeah, I mean, you would know the players more than I would, but Ravan and Kepri and Vulcan and Thor both seem like pretty standard picks so far, so we'll see how it turns out, you know?
Yes. Oh, little addendum, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, the names at the top of your screens are backwards. So it's Orphan Squad on Chaos, Get On My Level in order, red and blue respectively. So Get On My Level have grabbed themselves. Oh, there we go. We had the actual corrections there. Lovely, jubbly. Get On My Level and Orphan Squad now going to be thinking about their next set of picks. I'm super curious as to what they go, because they do have a decently big pool that they could opt for should things require it, because of course the second stage of bans is where you really start targeting specific players.
Yeah, it looks like we're just waiting for this last pick for Get On My Level. What are you thinking? Do you have any idea what it would be?
My first pick is, what about Sir Drakon? Sir Drakon is a substitute for Orphan Squad, and Sir Drakon is a relative unknown to me, so I'm not going to make too many assertive comments on that. But one thing that I will say is, the once or twice I have seen him, he does like pulling out some of the warriors, so maybe we could see something more along those lines. Maybe Osiris, maybe Odin, maybe Hercules, even a Guan Yu could be expected. I don't know. But, you know, there's a decent bag of tricks we could be expecting, but it's more to do with the lack of knowledge we have more than what we actually know for sure. But what we do know for a fact is Ho Yi and Erlang Shen have been picked up for Orphan Squad and Get On My Level respectively.
Yeah, I mean, teams seem too normal to me, to be honest. I'd like to see something a bit more funky, but hopefully we get something more funky as we look into the bans here. Soul, that's not funky.
It might actually be a normal game, you know. They might have decided, all right, that first game was, you know, it was the hub was solo, that wrecked everyone, let, you know, keep things a bit more civil, you know, that can happen, you know, the archipelagos and virals, that usually things can calm down, so why not happen in the mid part of the league table? Saket and Awilish going to be the second stage bans, though. Saket is a good ban. Sir Drakon might want to try to take advantage of that. And Awilish, you know, you want to get that away from Face or Get On My Level. I'm still not sure if they're going to do any kind of role swaps again or keep it as is. I'm super curious about that when we actually get into game.
2 mages.
2 mages.
2 mages.
2 mages.
2 mages.
Right.
2
okay,
mages.
I'm curious. Okay, so that's a cuckoo.
2 mages. That's
2 mages
cuckoo.
and a cuckoo on Orphan Squad. Alright, okay, Orphan Squad. Let's start with that. Cuckoo, Odin,
Okay.
super nice combo, and of course Hokage Devil has played Cuckoo in the past. That's a Kamazots. That.
Oh,
So
no.
are we gonna
Oh,
see?
yes.
Okay, so this has to be Thor support. Get Armor Levels taking the Erlang Shen because he loves it. So Bling Bling's taking the Scylla. Is Maker White taking Kamazots or is Face taking Kamazots? Is this going to be carry Kamazots or solo?
I mean, I feel like Face is going to be carrying either way. Just seeing how he played last game. I mean, maybe he's not always the carry player, but it looks like he probably will be carrying if he's playing either the Vulcan or the Kamazots, both having a lot of burst, either physical or magical.
All right, we're going to be hopping into game here shortly, and I'm super curious.
Happened.
All right, and it's rolled out as, yeah, all right, it's going to be Vulcan carry, Ashu with the Thor support,
Classic.
mid Scylla Bling Bling Shen, get on my level with the jungle Erlang Shen, and then Face with the solo Kamazots. Okay, get on my level. There's putting a bit of spice in your picks, then there's knocking the entire spice rack into your food.
I mean, it's just... I did say I want something funky, and it seems like through the gods, they just heard me, and they were like, okay, let's do Vulcan ADC, because that's normal.
I think it's less through the gods and more through the lulls more than anything. But, you know, we could harp on that all day, but let's actually get into game here properly. So, Hokage, we're going to get charged down on the mid. The Cuckoo's going to be quite nice for maintaining lane control, especially against a Scylla, who is going to struggle compared to a Cuckoo to clear lane early on.
Oh, Cuckoo's clear is just absolutely insane early on, and it pretty much guarantees that you can rotate to this speed buff if you so choose. And it looks like Sir Drakon playing this jungle Odin, not the solo Odin, will be able to do such a thing that looks like, yeah, they should be able to secure this speed buff. Yeah,
but they grab themselves that's going to make him a nice and nippy Odin. But speaking of camp stealing, get armor levels at mid and... Sorry, they're solo and jungle, excuse me. They grab themselves the blue buff away from India Guy and get themselves the speed
solo and support.
For... Oh, yes, of course, it's a Thor support. What am I saying? I'm so used to Thor jungle. Ah! SEAY, you make me look a complete fool sometimes.
Maybe because you are. Location.
I wish you would show mercy.
Alright, moving on to the game here, we see 4 members of, sorry, get on my level here, grouping up in this mid lane. Sudrakhan and Hokage, along with Vintage, going to see if they can find these mid camps that are not there. Instead, they find a Vulcan turret because the ADC decided to rotate early on and pick up those mid camps.
That's the worst feeling. You go, oh, Bling Bling actually going to get hit. Oh no, he was walking backwards. Why were you walking backwards? If he was walking forwards, he might have actually gotten out of that, but he's going to take enough damage to where he has to leave the lane. Orphan Squad could get some heavy pressure here.
I mean, yeah, they could definitely get some heavy pressure here on a Scylla, especially with the Kukulkan. Oh, looks like we're getting a
All right, looks like get on
here.
my level, the player. Okay, so it looks like he has had a pause. So we are being informed this is a pause for the long haul. So we are actually going to cut to a decent break, and we are going to give you guys a little bit of a break. So we'll be right back as soon as we can. Okay, situation updates. Get on my level, the team, used all of their pause time there, and still Get on my level, the player hasn't been able to get back in. So Get on my level, unfortunately, will have to progress without their jungler for the time being.
Yeah, that's going to be very unfortunate. Get on my level, a very key player on the team named after him. So it'll be interesting to see how they play with only 4 members.
Yeah, and it's gonna, they're gonna feel that. You know, Get on my level as a jungler had made a good impact last game, was able to gank appropriately, got great 9 turns blessings off. So having that lack of a jungle presence means that one, Sir Drakon can have a bit more lay with the jungle and a little bit more choice now where he wants to go. You know, he can go and spend more time ganking Maker White like we're seeing here, without having to worry about taking buff camps.
Huge damage coming out onto Maker White. Is he going to be able to escape? No, it looks like... Oh, he just gets out. And Face does get first blood, though Maker is quickly picked up by Swag when he gets his ultimate. Now, Drakon is just trying to zone out a bit with the Raven Shield, and it looks like those should be the only kills there. 2 for 1 for the side of Orphan Squad.
Yep, going to be able to keep himself nice and secure for the time being. Ashu and Bling Bling still hanging out in the lane, though. Hokage rotates around, tries for the 1-2 punch, hits the Squall, but the Sentinel keeps Bling Bling safe from any follow-up whirlwind attacks. Meanwhile, over in the solo lane, India Guy and Face going to be squaring off again. India Guy already got killed off by Face, and he's going to understand, hey, trying to score off against the camp results when he's ahead of you is probably a bad idea.
Yeah, they're engaging onto this red buff and the huge stun coming out from Ashu, but huge damage coming onto Ashu as well as Hokage picks up that kill onto the support Thor that we're seeing, and now Maker White is looking oh so dead here, trapped in that Odin cage, but he does manage to get out, but now Drakon just trying to find that auto and gets the swing to pick up the kill.
29 HP. 29 HP is the number that Sir Drakon had there. One more auto attack from Maker would have secured that kill. One, or even one more ability from Bling Bling Shan, who was hanging out in the wings. But Bling Bling couldn't stick his neck out and help because he would have died, because Hokage and Vintage were hanging about to the right-hand side of that fight. So, as much as he would have wanted to help, Maker White, was gunzo there, for all intents and purposes.
Yeah, we see Face here going ahead and trying to pick up the enemy speed, which might not be the greatest idea, especially considering that they're a man down. So he goes ahead and uses that bat form to just fly right out of there.
So Drakon is going to be looking to try and, with the help of Vintage, keep Ashu away from all of the elementals. One more elemental still stands there. That's going to be the big one. 2 little ones were taken there by Ashu, going to give himself a little bit of XP. Now, he is the support Thor, but with the lack of Get on my level, his player's presence, he's going to have to morph into a jungle Thor pretty quickly. And he's got the build for it. I mean, he hasn't gotten any watches or anything. That is a traditional jungle Thor, for all intents and purposes.
Yeah, he can definitely play that role, and he does have the speed buff wrapped around his belt, but he does take huge damage from this Kukulkan. Vintage actually pulling him! Unfortunately, pulling him just out of the ultimate, not quite on the mark there for Vintage as he continues to try and find Bling Bling. Vintage, naughty boy Vintage.
I can guarantee you now, Vintage is taking all of the flack in the comms right now. His team is going to be lighting him up for that. That is not a great feeling as a Kebri when you pull someone out of an ultimate. Oof. That feels bad man levels of worseness, but it looks like mid lane here, Orphan Squad going to be thinking about taking out Bling Bling Shan. He's got to be careful.
Huge burst coming out of him now. Swag tries to throw an ultimate onto him there. Unfortunately, just off the mark due to Priscilla having CC immunity. So the slow not quite affecting her there, as we actually see Ashu looking towards India, seeing if he can find a double tap there. Does! And picks up that kill, but unfortunately most likely going to die himself to Sir Drakon. Now Drakon's trying to see if he can find Face.
Face has to try and run away, but he's going to turn and draw. He has minion support, and he could use his jump to heal himself on the minions. No, he's going to use the Vampire Bats instead. Immediately follow up with the Screech, give him the power boost. Bat out of hell, triggered. 1 second hit's good. He's going to be able to dive down, heal up with the minions, and use the 3 blood pools all around this solo lane to heal himself up. Or is he going to go back? India Guy is teleporting in. He goes back.
Yeah, and he has his own teleport there as well.
Yeah, basically able to come back nice and quickly, which is definitely going to help, at least for the time being, to keep pressure up. And that's going to be especially important, Wolf, keeping pressure up, because, of course, Get 'em a level lack their 5th player right now.
Yeah,
I wonder, though.
Yeah?
Go on, you first.
No, ladies first.
Oh my god, you're the worst. So, Orphan Squad now, they have certain ways they could take advantage of this. Well, first of all, picking on the solo lane is definitely one of them. They're going to at least try and chase him out. He is level 11. He has a massive level advantage over, you know, level 7 jungler, level 8 mid lane, level 9 solo. And now Vintage rotates over as well. This is going to give some time for everyone else to farm up in their respective lanes. It doesn't feel like Orphan Squad is able to gank as hard as they probably should be, considering they have a man advantage with an Odin in the jungle. Drakon, meanwhile, going to be trying to go for any kind of offense. Drakon actually gets hit. Going to use the Resurrect courtesy of Vintage to try and get himself out. Spirit of the Nine wins. Misses absolutely cleanly. Doesn't feel gold. Just goes right round him instead. That's very unfortunate. That's going to result in no kills. Multiple ultimates wasted for absolutely 0 gain. Just some time wasted. And with that, we should probably take a moment to look at the graphs. 1.2k XP, 1.4k gold. That's going to give him a nice bit of room to work with. Wolf, are you reading? Unfortunately, it looks like we have lost Wolf for the time being. Rest in pepperonis. Now, Vintage, going to be trying to help out Hokage, trying to take the speed buff, but Face going to make his presence known. Using the vampire buff, going to give himself a little bit more power to work with, a bit more lifesteal as well. Hokage completely out of mana here. Won't be able to attribute too much to this fight. Ashu here to assist. Actually ends up walling off his own teammate. Okay, fine, so be it. That's not going to be great. Get him a level. Are doing a very good job, though. You've got to give him credit for keeping up. Look at the golden XP graphs. They aren't as high as you maybe would expect for being a man down. We keep harping on about this because it's such a big factor. Hokage mid lane, gonna get completely devoured there by Kamazots. The cage Kurt goes down. Drakon trying to keep him in, but Face gonna use Bat Out of Hell to get out of there nice and quickly. TD Swag now gonna be stuck inside potentially a pincer maneuver, courtesy of Get on My Level, but the rest of Orphan Squad rotate round, minus India guy. Hokage Devil, of course, dead. TD up in the air, hops away. Bling Bling looking for the armor monster, but no, that was an unlikely actual ult to hit because TD Swag had plenty of room to move. The wall didn't stun either from Ashu, so yeah, that's going to be a big teamfighting ultimate. Gone completely. Now, Bling Bling Shan does have a couple opportunities, though, to try and give his team some good team fights. If we actually hit the God screen itself and have a look at the way she's leveling, of course, the typical Scylla build is you point skip until you can get the Crush Up, point skip till you can get the Sikkim, and then start putting points into the Armor Monster. But if Bling Bling Shan can take advantage of the fact that, yeah, they're all one man down, but on the flip side, that's one person less taking XP. You're not going to be splitting that much with anyone. So he can get ahead faster, try and get levels up. Yeah, he's a level behind Hokage Devil, which sucks, but the rest of his team's doing okay. You know, level 12 Face versus a level 11 India guy. So, you know, they can still compete in terms of levels for the most part, and even Ashu is 2 levels above Vintage, because they're not having to split with a jungler. Now, how much is that going to correlate into good, effective pressure in the jungle? We'll have to find out. And it looks like Orphan Squad were thinking about a pause there, but they reconsidered. They're going to want to keep themselves a little bit careful for the most part. There was like a momentary DC, I imagine, from Draken, but he came back there nice and quickly. Bling Bling Shan now. Let's take a look at the items now that we finally have some calm here, you know. First game was basically arena in Conquest, but now we've actually got some nice calm moments. Book of Thoth being built here. Book of Thoth is an item you do see occasionally. It is a very nice item to pick up. You do get most of the power from buying it. It is a bit deceptive. Of course, the stacks are very nice to have, but the higher percentage of power you do get just from the purchase. So that is going to give Bling Bling Shan a good bit of mana and a good bit of power to work with as well. So how well is that going to contribute to him actually blowing people up? Let's have a look at the player damage graphs. So, you know, he is currently 4th overall, 2nd for his team. That's going to give him a good bit of presence, and the CC from the second once it gets fully leveled is going to be wonderful for keeping Draken and India guy in check. Earth Shatter over the wall from Maker. Does good bit of damage to Vengeance. I am a monster! Resurrect you self-sacrificially onto Draken instead to keep him nice and alive. Multiple ultimates now being deployed. Hokage, critical low, being dived by Ashu. Looking, one more Mjolnir hit's going to be good. Bling Bling eliminates TD. Bling gets the double. Hokage somehow gets out. Ashu's now being chased by India guy. Mystic Rush going to be used. It's not good. Whiffs by a decent margin. Ashu teleports through the wall. Meanwhile, FaZe able to hunt down the Allfather himself. Drakon falls. Get on my level. Able to get themselves a 2 for 0 trade in their favor. And now they're going to be looking for the Gold Fury. That was a wonderful engagement by them. Able to use the Earthshaker, keep Vintage down. They did the right thing. They kept most of Orphan Squad back by proxy and just burst down the Beetle. Keep him bursted. You can't use the ult on yourself because it's going to be too much of a risk. You know, having a talk with Vintage has played Kepri arguably a little bit too much. In his words, not mine. And he has often played Kepri into some places. Actually, no more talk about in the moment. Speaking of Vintage, going to drop there to face. And any more engagement in the mid? No. Going to just keep himself nice and safe and back off. Now, Vintage has played the Kepri enough to where he knows not to burn the ult on himself because, you know, that's just going to be basically giving the enemy a second kill on you without, of course, the kill number and the goal. But instead, put it on someone else so you get the CC immunity. Mid lane here, Hokage Devil is going to drop to Bling Bling Shan. And Bling Bling somehow gets out even with the Whirlwind and Zephyr on him. Bling Bling has been getting out of so many situations where, on paper, he probably should have been dead for all, you know, intents and purposes. But as a result of that, get on my level, going to be 10 kills up on the 5 for Orphan Squad. And Golden XP graphs we can see are firmly even. A couple of pings happening. I believe those were ward pings by Orphan Squad, not quite sure. Gonna, you know, warding. We haven't seen as many wards these last 2 games as we have seen in maybe other games through the past couple of weeks here in the Southeast Asia Invitational. But, of course, warding in Southeast Asia does serve a great purpose because Southeast Asia is a lot more faster region. They do things on a different, more abridged timeline. So being able to see people coming into your jungle, you know, 2 minutes earlier than you may expect is going to be super handy. We are going to be seeing a 2 versus 1, well, almost a 2 versus 1. There was just a small little bit of an argy-bargy, but we eventually see FaZe back off, and Ashu's going to return to the jungle. Mid lane is going to be keeping themselves in the jungle for the time being. I do believe Maker is the target for the Orphan Squad hit squad. They're going to, they're actually going to get tipped off there by the turret being destroyed. And now Orphan Squad going to be a 4-man rotation to the tier 1 in the duo. And they're going to start tearing this one down nice and quickly. And get on my level really can't do that much about it. You know, most of them are still busy farming in the mid, farming in the solo. That's going to give them, yeah, a good bit of farm. But because they are 1 player down, and luckily Get My Level has returned, but he's still effectively 1 player down because he's level 3. He's going to be absolute dead meat in most of these fights. Make a white trapped inside of the cage. Ashu rotated around as well. Ashu pops the Aegis Bling Bling there as well. Iron Monster hits Akage, but the Resurrect from Vintage saves him from damnation. Ashu going to drop to Bling Bling Shan because of the crush. Bling Bling Shan make a white. Oh, sorry, Ashu dropped there to Drakon. Excuse me. Vintage somehow living courtesy of the shield. How much health does he have? He has 100 HP. He almost got completely cooked there, but somehow getting out. This has been the game of people getting out of situations they had 0 right of getting out of. Let's be entirely honest here. An Orphan guy now sounding the retreat. They need to get out of there before Get On My Level able to get their hands on them. But FaZe getting very aggressive. Actually got a 1 versus 3 here. Walks into the Whirlwind, pops the Aegis, walks through the tower. I admired the Gusto face, but you probably could have spent your time a little bit better picking up, I don't know, the red buff that TD's now taking. You know, Camisots does benefit quite well from grabbing buffs almost on cooldown because his Vampire Bats, you know, it will stack up the passive based off that ability by hitting the big minion in that camp. Meanwhile, mid lane actually, Make a White gonna go after Bling Bling, actually, TD Swag goes after Bling Bling Shan. Will take him out, and now Make a White's going to be the target of TD. Make a White pops the Aegis, Get On My Level, now going to try and help, but he doesn't even have his ultimate yet, so how much can he really contribute? Answer, basically nothing, outside of a knock-up or 2. Ashu is there to assist, but it's more going to be moral support here. Get On My Level really does not want to engage right now. But Get On My Level understand that they're instead taking most of their time to farm up and keep Orphan Squad off of the big objectives. But Orphan Squad now going to be setting their sights on the Portal Demon, grab that with multiple ultimates. Ashu dives in with the Hammer of Dawn. Ashu going to be able to get away, but that is going to be a Portal Demon grabbed successfully by Orphan Squad, and there's not much they can really do to alleviate some of that pressure. Now, Orphan Squad have a free teleport back in. It's a risky one because, of course, people could just be stood at the front of the entrance. But speaking of risky, FaZe, again, going into the jungle. He is level 16 versus level 10 Drakon. I don't even know how Drakon managed to get that under-leveled. Mute Face is almost bursting in. Bad out of hell. Multiple hits. That's going to actually spike the damage. Face going to take the smart choice and start walking away. Spirit of the Nine Winds just a little bit too short. Face was able to fly away just enough distance to actually get away from the Cuckoo ult and save his own hide. If you'll excuse me, I need to take a quick drink. This has been a rather aggressive game. So, Face gonna be thinking to himself, alright, we got myself out of there. Get Armor levels back, he needs to farm up, so Get Armor level really can't contribute too much to fights. He's got to stay in lane and stay safe. Get Armor level, this is not what you want to do. Going into the enemy tower when the enemy is unaccounted for. That's what happens. That is the exact opposite of what you want to do. Stay safe, farm with your team, and just try and not die. Yeah, you won't give much of a bounty. Earthshaker going to be used over the wall. It is not going to clip TD Swag. He was able to jump out of there just in time, and even if it did clip him, it probably wouldn't have killed him. But actually, scratch that. Maybe it would have. We'll see. But get him our level. Well, speaking about him again, you won't be giving much of a bounty because, of course, you are very under-leveled and you are a kill behind. It's not like you're hyper-leveled and you're on a 9 kill streak. It's a different level of bounty given if you kill him. But still, if you kill him enough, and that's very easy to do because he's level 6 at 18 minutes in because of the DCs, which were unfortunate, that is going to start stacking up. So, Get On My Level has to be protected. He is the VIP right now, or he has to keep himself in a conservative enough position to where he can assist, but then immediately get out of dodge. And Get On My Level are doing that. They just took oracles and they immediately rescind their advance. They aren't going to get too crazy, which is good. Orphan Squad aren't able to apply as much pressure because of that. Orphan Squad are not able to really get in there and do a lot of work. It's not like they're able to ruffle stomp and end this at 25 minutes, because Get On My Level are playing a more passive play style, and that is exactly what they need to do. Anchor themselves in and play the game of attrition. Get On My Level now, and the rest of Get On My Level, the team, going to be thinking about trying to contest this Gold Fury, which has been started up by Orphan Squad. Faye's going to be the vanguard for this offensive. Ashu, Bling Bling Shan, and Get On My Level all on that right flank. Baker White in the middle. Orphan Squad, 4 people here, now 5 with the return of India Guy. Both teams looking to try and skirmish at the time being. Get On My Level going to be the one who's going, and he might be Sacrificial Lamb. Big Odin Bomb actually thrown just on him. Spirit of the Nine Winds going to be the counter roll there to the Earthbreaker from Vulcan. Meanwhile, we did see the Thor dive to the left, but no kill just yet. Ashu going to get the kill on Hokage Devil to the left side in the duo lane. Face trying to get a kill or two where he can, but it's a 1 versus 4 here, but the rest of the team still trying to regroup themselves. Face has to burn the bat out of hell to get himself out of hell, potentially himself. He's able to get away with just a fraction of HP to spare. Ashu, Bling Bling Shan able to get themselves out of there as well. Orphan Squad they're gonna have to be happy that they only lost 1 person there. They aren't gonna be happy though that they lost their opportunity of getting the Gold Fury. And they're probably gonna be infuriated with the fact that they haven't been able to take this game easy, because that entire time where Get On My Level the player was gone, they haven't been able to push the advantage. They got maybe a kill or 2. We are going to see, however, actually, I wasn't even looking over there. Baker White is going to take out TD Swag 1 versus 1. Now, Vulcan Hou-Yi matchup. If the Hou-Yi doesn't hit the Ricochet stun and into the full combo, and even with an ultimate, the Vulcan is going to have the advantage because he can pop the turret down, move to the side. The Hou-Yi has to kill the turret first. And also on top of that, Scratch actually talking about the God. Look at his build. He's gone double stacking. He's going with the Warlock Sash and a Book of Thoth. But we are going to be seeing that puts this maybe no right side. Bling Bling Shan going to kill Surgeon around courtesy of the Armor Monster. Second Armor Monster going to hit 1 target, Vintage, but he's very tanky, which is going to alleviate most of the damage. Face going to get hit with the 10-hand Shadow Fist. India Guy fully depleted of his mana reserve, so he can't assist too much more in the fight. So that fight's going to rescind with only 1 kill, again going in the favor of Get On My Level. But Get On My Level are consistently just getting a pick here. Pick there. Ashu dives in. Anvil of Dawn right onto Hokage Devil's head. Hokage Devil is marked man for Ashu right now. He might as well have an imprint of Mjolnir on his skull right now. That is not a good time right now there for poor old Hokage Devil. That is not fantastic. Now, Orphan Squad going to be thinking to themselves, all right, how do we try and get a foothold? Get them a level are starting to pick the pace up. They are now officially in the lead with XP and gold. They're about to be in the lead with territory as well if they can pick off a tower or two more. They pick up the tier 1 on the left, they're going to get themselves even in territory. Orphan Squad steal away the Gold Fury, courtesy of Vintage, using the 2 to burn it down with the dot damage. But get on my level, going to try and dive in, try and get some revenge. Kills Odin Kitchen to zone him out for the meantime. Face going over the top, over the bunkers, looking to try and get a kill or two. Vampire Bats, tick, tick, boom, damage is good. TD Swag falls, first kill of the fight. But meanwhile, Orphan Squad retaliate. 2 ultimates over the top. Drakon jumps. India Guy uses the Mystic Rush. But it's not enough. Bling Bling Shan able to waddle away. He can just taunt all he wants. Sikkim, auto attack. Forces the shield crush. India Guy's cut inside. Aegis means he can't detonate it. Meanwhile, the overhand kick plus the Prana Assault resulted in the death of Bling Bling Shan. India Guy has to retreat now. It's a level 8 Erlang Shen, but it's a level 16 Thor following him down the lane. And he's going to want to be a little bit wary of that, so he's just going to fall off, keep it nice and easy. So for the meantime, as I have another drink, let's have a moment to look at the builds if we actually have an opportunity here. So Silver Branch Bow, this is an item you don't see too much. Mostly it's Ichabod. But we are seeing that because Orphan Squad has recognized, because of the absence of Get On My Level, it's too magical and too physical to have to contend with instead of the 3-2 split you're used to. And Maker White and Bling Bling Shan are some of the bigger threats on Get On My Level outside of Face right now, who is the highest you. He's 20k player damage right now. So the Silver Branch Bow is going to serve the same effect as Ichabod, but switch out the physical reduction for magical reduction, which is always going to be welcome on a carry. But we are going to be seeing a potential fight here. So Drakon is going to be wandering away. Narrowly avoids the Magma Bomb. And going to get himself out of dodge nice and quickly. Get On My Level have been targeting this tier 2 on the right for a good time now. We did see Ashu come and time it for the rest of his team. India Guy going to be dope. The wall is fantastic. Going to keep India Guy away. Forces the Mystic Rush and the Bracer, but he's caught inside the cage. He's caught inside Drakon's cage. But he's not going to be able to get away. Actually, there's friendly cage. It doesn't even matter because Face takes him out, courtesy of the bat out of hell. Orphan Squad now going to be down. Multiple ultimates there, including the cage. India Guy wasn't able to run away for some reason, even though that was a friendly cage. So he could have just left, but, I mean, someone could just wander around and take him out anyway. So there wasn't really too much there India Guy could really do. Hokage Devil now going to try and pick off Get On My Level. Get On My Level is going to be now acting as that juicy bait. Shades of Dracula V. Wandering around, chase me kind of mentality. And Orphan Squad have been gagging to try and take him out. He is the tasty target. It's a level 9 Erlang Shen who only has a wing blade. He's got an Aegis. But once that's gone, he's dead meat. So the fact that they haven't been able to kill him is very unfortunate for Orphan Squad. And now because of that, it's been able to buy Get On My Level so much time to where they can start pulling this back. You know, it's 6k XP difference still, 25 minutes in. Gold difference, virtually identical. And that's fantastic for Get On My Level. This could have gone significantly worse. There was a very, very real threat of Get On My Level losing this to a 1-1 split. Both teams getting 1 point in the standings. But Orphan Squad weren't able to capitalize on that very long opening, that very long power play. So now Get On My Level can start resurging, start getting their feet back under them, and get some levels and items shoved onto Get On My Level, the player, not the team. He is going to have the Mantle of Discord now. Engagement onto Vintage will be forcing beads. And the Iron Monster plus the Anvil of Dawn is going to completely roast the Lobster alive. Face gets the kill credit. Odin Cage from Drakon going to try and keep Get On My Level. And Bling Bling Shan caught inside. Hokage's Tornado spinning away. Drakon spears Bling Bling Shan. That's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Can they find any more? Orphan Squad really need this additional momentum boost in their favor. The Vulcan Ultimate doesn't do too much damage to India Guy because he was inside the Mystic Rush, so he will be able to have reduced damage. Face dueling against TD, but the stun from TD Swag eliminates Face. 2-for-1 trade for Orphan Squad. Gonna save the tier 2 in the mid. They already did just lose the tier 1 in the the tier 2 in the solo. So if they lost it in the mid as well, that would have been absolutely catastrophic. India Guy now with the help of Hokage Devil trying to isolate Maker White, but Maker White does have access to full stacked Warlock, so he's going to be a deceptively tanky target. Doesn't have too many protections, but I mean, he has the health to back it up. So, not effective HP, but it's still HP. Odin Cage again from Drakon, cooldown benefiting him hugely. Ashu goes up looking for Hokage Devil, gonna try and imprint Mjolnir into his skull again. Drakon, meanwhile, takes out Get On My Level once again. Ashu opts to go back instead, probably for the best. Diving 1 versus 5 is usually going to get you killed. So, you know, for the best. You know, that is a situation where you don't want to go in and give your enemy the rope to hang you with. Ashu has been functioning as the jungler, essentially, until Get Him a Level can get back on his own feet. And by the time he does get himself back on his own feet, those roles aren't going to be too relevant anymore. It's going to be more about frontline, backline, and flankers. TD Swag stuns Mega after he was caught inside the abduct, and he immediately gets disassembled by TD Swag. Not much you can even do there. Even with burning the Purification Beads, there's just too much raw damage there from the level 20 Ho Yi, who's almost at max build. Even with a Fatalis, is doing so much damage. Face now. Gonna go into Bat Out of Hell. Gonna use it as an evasive measure instead. Give himself a bit of room. Hokage Devil dropped to half. Wants to keep himself nice and safe. Orphan Squad, however, going to be thinking about their next move very carefully. Get Him a Level are starting to get themselves back on their feet, and they are not necessarily in the lead in terms of territory. They are still 1 tower down versus Orphan Squad's 3. And Orphan Squad have just grabbed themselves the Gold Fury, so that's one objective Get On My Level can't grab. It's less about Orphan Squad grabbing the gold for themselves, even though it's very welcome. It's more denying it from Get On My Level. Both the team and, funny enough, the player himself keep him from getting back online. He's stuck in this level purgatory where you can't help him fight. Ashu up in the air. He's going to look to go down. Hits Drakon. Immediate penitent by Get On My Level. Going to do a decent bit of damage, but the counterattack by Orphan Squad is about to begin. Ashu stuck inside. Abduct using the Aegis. Going to use the wall, but he's stuck inside like a caged rabbit going fox hunting. Dropped on by TD. Takes him out. Sun's Rain down as a zoning measure. Get On My Level. The player has to try and go around turtle form. Going to try and get himself surfing through the lines of Orphan Squad. Volcanol going to be a zoning measure by Maker White. BTD Swag gets himself his second kill by killing off Bling Bling Shan. Maker White might follow shortly here to the combined arms of Orphan Squad. TD Swag gets himself an unofficial triple, official double, and an official tier 2 tower kill. Oof. Orphan Squad not taking this down without a fight, are they? You gotta give them props. They didn't balk at the face of, oh, we'd missed our big power window, and they're still gonna keep this fight up. Let's see how Face does here. No. Gonna keep himself safe. That's good. Doesn't want to go too nuts. Although Get Him a Level still there. He could look for the pin over the wall. He hasn't been clocked yet by any wards. Looking for it. Rage going to be used. He is going to instant focus on Hokage. Doesn't try and steal the Portal Demon. Face goes in. Face stole him! Face stole it! Face stole the Portal Demon. That's fantastic for Get Him a Level. Orphan Squad, that's disastrous for them. Reinforcements are pouring through. They did just lose Get Him a Level and they lost Face. Ashu, leave. Do not go in. Right now, you need to go the other direction. Why are you going in? This is a horrendous choice. They need to leave. They just denied Orphan Squad their pressure advantage. They need to take this, go home, buy and regroup. With Face down, Get On My Level's coming up shortly. Face is one of the big heavy hitters for Get On My Level right now. So losing him is going to be a little bit of opportunity for Orphan Squad to start looking for a Fire Giant push or a Tower push or something like that. Or in this case, it's going to be a Gold Fury push specifically. Now, onto a point I wanted to mention before all that stuff kicked off. We are going to be seeing the Jade Emperor's Crown being built here by Vintage. That's going to be a good bit of physical power reduction, which is going to hit Get On My Level pretty hard. Because, of course, Ashu and Face are doing pretty well. But specifically Get On My Level, the player. Because that's a flat power reduction of 30, and Get On My Level doesn't have that much power built. He's got Balance Blade being built. He's got Ninja Tabby, but that's about it, really, outside of some parts of his abilities. So that is going to defang him to a fairly heinous degree. Get On My Level now, going to be thinking of contesting this Fire Giant, but they have sent Maker White to split push to tier 2 in the left side. He just hit tier 1. The fight about to get the Fire Giant. Spirit of the Nomes, he stole it! As you stole it! Get On My Level! Will you stop stealing objectives? What is this? With the Fire Giant taken, Orphan Squad cannot get any objectives to Get On My Level. They are the cockroaches that refuse to die. Bling Bling Shan, take out TD Swag. Face, Bat Out of Hell, has to start expediting his escape immediately. This entire time, Maker White's been split pushing. Orphan Squad getting tunnel vision from that, haven't clocked onto the fact they're about to lose all their structures. They need to leave. They need to go. It doesn't matter about these kills. They need to stop Maker White, but it's too late. They just lost the Fire Giant. They just lost 3 structures. That is a horrendous trade. They get 3 kills. Cool. What can they get off it? Not much, really. because now they had to go back and slot the fire minions. They just lost the tier 2 with the solo. Like, that is the worst trade in the history of Smite, ever. Like, note it down in the history books. That was absolutely just macabre. Like, this is face. I understand the push. You might actually end up getting this if he can heal up enough. He's got the pen, but the abduct from Vintage is simply too much. Well, that was something, wasn't it? There we go. Just need a moment to catch my breath. On a more serious note, on a less hysterical note from me, Orphan Squad have just lost all semblance of momentum now. They are firmly on the back foot. They just lost 3 structures, almost lost a 4th, and they lost 2 big objectives in the Fire Giant area due to steals. Orphan Squad have got to be tilting off the face of the planet right now. And they have to adjust because of it. I hope they aren't. I mean, I know I certainly would. I would just be mashing the F6 key and cursing the various pantheons that just happened. But Orphan Squad keeping themselves more composed than I am. Gonna be looking for the push themselves. Orphan Squad have a decent opportunity here. Everyone for Get On My Level is going to be present for this fight. Face about to respawn. Orphan Squad have a 4-1 split in terms of positioning. McTeely Swag going to be split pushing this left side. That will force Get On My Level, the player, to go over there and put out that proverbial fire. Orphan Squad, however, going to be looking to try and push lanes at the same time. TD Swag going to be engaged on, hops away from the threat from Get On My Level, the player. India guy going to start the engage, but the rest of the team wasn't really there to follow up. I'm a Monster, gonna be held. Spirit of the Nine wins, not gonna hit anyone. Bling Bling has to make a choice. Hits Vintage, full brunt of the damage hits him, but even with that, it's not enough to kill. But that will, from downtown, make a white hits the Vulcan Ultimate. Double kill there, off the Meatball as well. Face hits the 4-for-0 trade, actually, for Get On My Level. Orphan Squad haven't been able to get a single kill. This could be a deicide if Drakon gets chased down. But look at the pings from Get On My Level. They're playing this smart. They understand. Ignore Drakon. Just go, 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 go. Get the objectives. Get the towers. Ignore the kills. This is exactly what they need to do. They're playing this smart, and this is going to pay out dividends for them. Orphan Squad will get up by the time the Titan is challenged. This Phoenix is guaranteed dead. They will be able to challenge, but because of all these Phoenixes being down, that has to result in no armor for the Titan, which is going to be an extremely hard fight for Orphan Squad to actually fight. Orphan Squad are now on the precipice of losing this to a 2-0 sweep after having a huge opportunity to get an early lead, which is so unfortunate. So Drakon charging in, pops the cage, kills off Face. And now with Vintage following up, taking a Bling Bling Shan, but they lost the Phoenix. They were able to stalemate the fight, but at what cost? There are fire minions charging down 3 lanes, which means Orphan Squad, for all intents and purposes, is now on house arrest. They can't leave. They can't move. They can only really send one emissary out to go scout the jungle or put wards up, because everyone else has to sit and defend from these fire minions, which gives Get On My Level to get more time for the Erlang Shen to farm. It gives them more time to pick up buffs. It gives them more time to get key objectives, and more importantly, strip them away from Orphan Squad, because if somehow Orphan Squad win the next fight, they're going to have to charge up the mid lane, and they're going to have to make a choice. Do they go for the big objectives and make a slow but steady push by entrenching themselves with Fire Giant buffs and Portal Demons? Or do they blitzkrieg right up the lanes and nab themselves tier 2 in the solo plus Phoenixes? That's a choice they will have to make based on the conditions of the respawn time as for Get On My Level, should they win the fight. Now, will they win the fight? I'm not so sure. Orphan Squad have a great composition for team fighting. You know, it's circles and reses. But Get On My Level have displayed a higher amplitude when it comes to engaging. Face has been able to just go in by himself, basically unchallenged for about 5 seconds usually in each fight. Face is, of course, able to sustain himself quite heavily because Kamazots. And this entire time, Face can then just burn his ult to get out of there scot-free. Get up a level this whole time we're grabbing the objective. Portal Demon grab, which means Face can go back, grab his stuff, come back in. I'm a Monster, gonna whiff horribly. Unfortunate for Bling Bling. Ashu up in the air, Get On My Level, incredibly low. Ashu comes back down, hits the 1-2 punch. The ages from TD's much better, though. Actually gonna save his bacon from getting melted there from the Vulcan Ultimate. TD Swag gonna start running away, get him another player, gonna back, use the portal team to come back in. Oh my living days! Bling Bling Shang gets the double kill. Orphan Squad on the retreat now, get him a level, have a much more room to play with. They're gonna be able to actually start getting themselves a win potentially. Vintage puts the ult himself. He's down to half, but how much can he really do here? Most of his force is dead. India guy trying to run away, but the Vampire Batch pecked the life out of Ravan and get him my level on the Jugular. They've got to push the knife in. It's down to about 1,000 HP, 500 HP. It's the 2-0 for get on my level. Wow. That is super surprising. That is... I honestly expected... This sounds so bad for me. Orphan Squad had a big opportunity there. As much as it seems unsportsmanlike, you know, dive on them when they lost a player, you know, that's what you should do. It's a competitive scenario. Take any advantage you can get. But they weren't able to push the advantage because get on my level, for a lack of term, they did play, not necessarily lame, but they played defensively. And they were able to buy themselves enough time to get on my level back in the game. Then they bought themselves some more time to get themselves online. Then there were a couple of suspect fights from both teams, but in the end, get on my level, start clawing themselves back the advantage, things get even, and then a couple of key fights result in get on my level getting themselves the win. Which means get on my level will grab themselves the 2-0, 3 points in the standings, and we will be moving on to the next set of the day. It will be the final set of the day for the first day of the Super Week, because, of course, Blitz has been ruled out due to the competitive ruling. So next match will be Archipelago versus Loyal. We're going to whack about 5-10 minutes on the clock, get that game set up for you post-haste, and then we'll be bringing you that game shortly. Don't go anywhere. This is Hi-Rez TV. welcome back everyone. Time for the final set of the day, Archipelago versus Loyal, and I'm joined this time not by an Aussie, but by a Britishman, a fellow Englishman. Hello there, WizKid, are you reading?
No, again, I am always watching, not reading. How many times do I have to tell you this?
I like using that intro and you ruin it every time, you punny bug. Anyway, actual game before I kill you. Archipelago gonna be going with the standard bands. They, Team Loyal and Archipelago, they're both very high in the standings. I believe Loyal are actually the highest in the standings right now due to events from last week. So Archipelago is actually going to be playing up to them technically in terms of the points.
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely a couple of teams that are very, very close, all the way up at the top. I believe it's Loyal, Archipelago, and Viral. So you really want to try and get as many of these wins as possible to just extend your lead a little bit, because it means that they can't come back. They can't try and match you again, because you'll always be above them. So both of these teams looking to try and get the 2-0 here. Already seeing Osiris and Thoth banned out from Archipelago. Completely normal bans. Osiris is just, ugh. Bellona already being picked up by Loyal, so you've got the Bellona Osiris stuff, which we see the entire time. And again, Susano and Raven, although I believe there may be a bit of an issue with Susano, that's not too big of a deal though. Ganesh being locked in for Archipelago, so they're actually taking that away from the side of Loyal, because Bill HK is not on this Ganesh.
Yeah, his Ganesh has done barbaric things. Now, little side note, Slicey Jr. will be substituting in. He is going to be substituting for, let me look at my list, Gio del Sol. He is the usual support for Archipelago, so he's going to be coming in. That's a... I'm not even going to react. I'm encouraging Dracula every time he does this. Not even... No. Not saying anything. Not saying anything still, Dracula. You stop it. Right now. Pick something normal. There you go. That's your normal. Janus Solo.
Yeah, and again, if anyone has watched any Southeast Asia and any Archipelago, you know that this is normal. I mean, even the Hades was normal for a Dracula V. This most likely will be going solo. It can still go to the mid lane, but Dracula V is just too used to playing this solo now, I think. It almost always goes to him on the side of Archipelago. Kernanos was let through, though, so Loyal's going to be able to pick that up, have quite a nice easy ADC. You still have some good counters with the Cupid or the Hu Yi. Cupid's been banned out already. I expect Hu Yi to come out pretty soon afterwards. Archipelago, though, they're most likely going to be looking for a couple of bans in the mid lane and the support role. Kepri being banned out right there.
Yeah, the Seek Kernanos as well. Seek is a very, very competent AD carry. He can do disgusting things on Kernanos if given the room to play with, but has been prone to getting shut down heavily early, so let's see if he can fight through the early pain. And Kernanos definitely one of the gods who can help you out in that regard. Final bans being processed, Ho Yi for Loyal and Terra for Archipelago. One thing I'm curious though, Wiz, you and I have cast a good bit of Southeast Asia at this point. Archipelago was always the team on top with the silly stuff. Hang on, hold the phone, that's a Cabrakan. I didn't expect that.
Wait, no, yeah, that is a bit weird. That's going to be Cabrakan support, considering that
is that going to Bill HK?
Yeah, I think that's going to Bill HK, considering that there's already the jungle and there's already the solo. I doubt it'd be a mid laner, but you never know.
Does Cammy even have a Cabrakan? I don't know. Answers on a postcard, please, or someone ping me in the Discords. I mean, meanwhile, that's definitely going to Kirib. Like, Kirib's all is wonderful, so why not use it? Jimmy Mays are going to grab the Nemesis from earlier on, but Nox, little lover Nox, against the team that relies so much on mobility-based stuff and some channeled stuff, Bellona and Cabrakan specifically, and a Scylla? Ooh, that could be devastating if played well.
Yeah, however, you've got to remember that actually, Bill HK is immune to roots. Because he is immune to roots during that one, he's going to be a lot more difficult for the Nox to be able to catch. So expect it to be sort of... Bill HK is going to be the one running towards Nox this entire time. He's the only one that can really try and do anything against her. Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of pain going towards the way of Apex and Kami. So expect Bill to come in with the early rotations here.
Yeah, Bill is going to want to get more aggressive than he usually does. Bill HK Ganesh still can get quite aggressive, but with Cabrakan, you're really going to have to put your foot on the gas when it comes to that. But when you have a Scylla and a Saket backing you up, once the Cabrakan and the Saket get online towards the mid game, and once Scylla is able to get some points in the Crush maxed out, so it's doing even more damage and has that slowing and magical shred element to it, those mid-game fights for Loyal are going to be devastating if they can avoid the heavy front-loaded CC of Archipelago.
Yeah, they've just got to be super careful of this early game CC. Getting a nice couple of bits of damage with the Crush there. However, Archipelago do seem to have the slightly better early game, certainly in this mid lane. And over on the solo side, it just seems even, because Dracula V always goes for this strange build where he goes for boots level 3 rather than anything else. Over in the duo lane, again, just sort of mostly separating away, going for buffs. Did see a little bit of a steal there from Archipelago, but it's only the small minions. Gonna put them half a level at most, and it looks like Loyal's gonna go to take the red buff anyway. Doesn't even matter.
Yeah, want to grab it, nice and safe. Neither team wants to get too aggressive because both of these teams know what each other can do due to experience watching, experience playing together, both in this league and in ranked matches and scrims that they do.
Well, actually, solo lane Jimmy is very low, and he's going to be not quite go down to the bludgeon there, but is going to be able to go down to the hammer smash after there. Loyal going to be able to get the first blood, but back over in the duo lane, there has been a rotation from a Little Lover onto this duo side.
Yeah, the Reflect Shield for Nemesis can heal you, but it won't heal you that much early on, resulting in the death of Jimmy Maisie. Duo lane, meanwhile, Slicey Jr., Kirip looking to take life of Bill HK, going to use the charge, couple more shots from Kirip, few more will secure the kill, but do keep in mind Cabrakan's passive, a permanent 10% damage reduction. That is huge early game.
I think it's only 5%.
Buff to 10. Let's look. Let's actually have a look. We can look at that, I believe.
Might not be able to in spectator, but I'm pretty sure it's only 5%, but it's still a very good amount because it is about sort of 5 damage early on, certainly. Kirip going to be able to find a nice stun and already cleaning out Bill HK. 6 a pretty dangerous hit, is going to be able to use the dash out though.
Bet he wished he had 10% damage mitigation there. He's going to get stunned and completely burned. This duo lane has so much CC between remove obstacles into the stun from the thrown axe from Kirip. And then, even if they want, they can apply the silence from I love saying that, it's the best. From Slicey. That is a lot of lockdown, which can't be DR'd. The only CC in that chain that has diminishing returns is the axe throw, and that's just set up to allow Slicey to get in position to use the silence.
And don't forget as well, we're slowly getting to the point where these ultimates are going to come into effect, but Bill HK's walls are not going to be affected by Slicey, because he can just use that dash and go straight through those walls, since it passes through all player-made obstacles. So Slicey is going to be incredibly hard to lock down. You're going to need a root, as the ultimate from Jimmy comes out.
Meanwhile, Dracula going to drop 2 Dracula V in the solo lane, back over to the duo. Bill HK getting charged yet again. Ohm from Slicey going to keep him from getting away, which allows Kirip to secure the kill. 2 for 2 reads the scoreline. That was actually a 2-for-1 trade there in favor of Archipelago. They did lose Dracula, but they took 2 lives there on Loyal. But now, look at Team Loyal. They are getting extremely aggressive here in the solo here, Wiz. So much so, they're actually trying to proxy farm and push at the same time. Oh, this is questionable choice of movement, but he does have Little Lover around in case he needs the rotation. But Team Loyal is not getting aggressive. They're playing this smart. They know how fast Dracula can move.
Well, no, it was actually a really good play from Loyal. They knew that Dracula V's teleport was down, so what they planned to do is they expected him to use his ultimate to come in, which he did. So they tried to get set up around it. They were going to go in on him again and shut him down for a second time, killing him and putting him way far out of the lane. Unfortunately, though, Dracula just has this really good ult sense, and since he plays this character so much, he knows a lot of the ways about going around. So he just sort of teleported in and then used another portal to get into the tower before you could actually see Apex even touch him.
And on top of that, you've probably seen it a couple times during games, especially in the solo. That entire half of the map, I believe Dracula is thoroughly educated in pretty much every escape route with portals that you can take. Through the external walls, interior walls, optimal placements. That stuff you need to know if you're going to play Giannis in an extremely risky position mid lane here, though. Can be forced to pop Purification to get himself out of trouble.
Nice slice and dice, followed by the Dharmic Pillar is going to be able to lock him down. Little Lover getting a double kill here. Slicey Jr. is going to fall, or maybe not. No, Deathbane is going to be able to finish it off as Apex jumps back into the tower. Not quite going to fall to the slice and dice, but Jimmy Massey taking a bit too much damage from this poison.
Yeah, the poison went from Little Lover, jumped to the minions, jumped to the other minions, then jumped to Jimmy Mazzy. Meanwhile, speaking of Little Lover, actually it was Slicey was poisoned originally. Little Lover there, getting the kill onto Apex, gonna give Archipelago a bit more room to breathe and stop Loyal from just barreling onto them constantly, for at least for the time being.
Yeah, and now somehow Little Lover has gone from this sort of quite okay Nox to 3-0. And you know what any god is like when they get fed. Nox is especially worse because she can get into the sort of extra CD. Dracula V, though, getting caught out by the Eagles rally.
Yeah, wants to be a little bit wary. We're going to see Dracula trying to fly away, but nope! A single bludgeon going to send him off to the underworld for the time being. So Eclipse finally able to start establishing some significant pressure. Dracula V out mid lane, actually. Maybe a fight? Oh, Slicey tries to use remove obstacles, but you can't go through solid walls of the map, sir.
Yeah, unfortunately, it may be called remove
Imagine
obstacles.
if you could, Wiz. Imagine if you could go through the map walls. That would be terrifying. Just elephant room through the map wall.
You mean like Giannis?
Yeah, like Giannis. Imagine if you could pull a Giannis.
Alright, well, Carmen's
That'd be
forced to
terrifying.
use the TP out just to make sure he doesn't get too caught out by Archipelago here, who are really exerting a ton of pressure right now. They are really roaming around with this map heavily. I'm enjoying this Ganesh from Slicey, because normally we see it on Bill HK. They've finally taken it off of him. Someone has finally listened to me and said, you know what? Let's see Bill not on Ganesh finally.
Cammy, meanwhile, gonna get sliced and diced after the Nemesis ultimate and the full channel route from Little Lover. Tremors almost kills Jimmy Mazzy. Over the top goes Apex, finishes off the wounded Nemesis. Bill HK now a 2-on-2 now. They did just lose the 3, but now it's gonna be a 3-on-3 with both carries rotating over, both of them significantly wounded. So neither of them would really want to go too crazy, but now the solo lane is going to be moving leftward. We're going to see Eclipse doing the sensible thing and moving to rotate, while Dracula is doing the Dracula thing and proxy farming the tier 2. Well, you can take that part of the bingo card.
Is he going to go into the base? Like, we saw it last time. I think it was you and Gore casting. He went all the way into their base through the Phoenixes and still somehow got out. Instead, he's going to go and farm in the mid lane as well. Just got to get that extra proxy farm, yo.
How many ticks on the bingo card that they made in the SEA Discord have we ticked off at this point, Wiz? I mean, we've got the Dracula v Giannis, we've got him proxy farming the tier 2, which there is a legit reason for. We'll explain that in a moment. Which is specifically, a lot of the times for some reasons teams will consistently send too many players to deal with him, which draws other people away for Archipelago to grab big objectives like Gold Fury.
Speaking of, they did just set it up, but Loyal is around. They know that this has been here, and Slice is quite low, actually. He does have Dharmic Pillars if he wanted to use it, but I don't think they really want to start it, just because it is so risky with 3 members nearby, and Eclipse wasn't too far away either, and that's not even including Sigtuk, who's in the duo lane right next to them. So I don't think it was going to be wise for them to keep going into that. Nice call to just back away, look for more farm yet again. Dracula V back over in this solo lane, pushing as hard as possible, just really wanting to get some stuff out. Loyal has started out the gold cherry though.
Yeah, wants to be a little bit wary. Both teams aren't going massively on the objective. Both teams in general are kind of hot-footing around the objective without really going in. Although Eclipse with a risky teleport, Silence route is not going to hit, unfortunately, for Little Lover. It's going to allow the bludgeon to target damage, buff going to result in Little Lover going down to just over half HP.
Yeah, and now he's going to be set back a little bit. He does have his ultimate if he wanted to come in. Oracle's just got split. Slicey, though, in the middle of the Dharmic Pillars, going to get hit by the boar and going to go for the I'm a Monster as well. Loyal just really wanted to clean him up. Jimmy Massey, though, using the Nemesis ultimate to try and chase down Kami.
Bill HK gonna get rooted, get completely demolished by Little Lover and the rest of Archipelago's combined fire. Now Little Lover getting a little bit too big for his britches. Gonna fire off the ult, but of course he has the true damage on him. What happens if he dies inside of a character? Okay, no, the poison is gonna wear off just before we have to find that out.
Eagles Rally, though, is going to be able to catch him up. Sir Eclipse will finish off Little Lover, now chasing after Kerip, who does not have his jump. is going to get hit by the Bramble Blast, not rooted though, and now Jimmy Massey is back around here. He does not want to go in since ultimate is down, only has the Slice and Dice left, and even though you could maybe get a kill with that, you don't want to risk it. Dracula V over in the speed buff though, trying to slow down Apex taking this.
Yeah, wants to keep his presence known as an anchor point, but that team below has to constantly dislodge.
Oh no!
He's gonna steal it and kills Apex. Oh, the humanity! That is gonna be really unfortunate for Apex, and now fights the entire space, and he gets another one! And he's going for Apex. The Polybrox, one more attack. Juke Cammy, Juke for your life. He gets the triple after stealing a buff. Dracula, you absolute madman!
He's gonna die to Eclipse here, or is he? No, he's gonna be able to get out using the speed buff.
Run!
Looking for the portal through the wall, is gonna be able to do it. Eclipse is chasing. He wants this kill, but Dracula V has gotten out so far. He has a couple more mana left for a portal. Meanwhile, the gold fury has been started. Sixhook is going to be going down here. Actually, might meet Dracula V, who takes him out on the side. What?
Don't mind me just cruising around. I'm Dracula V, just doing my thing. How is Dracula V doing this? How is Loyal allowing this to happen? I don't know. Answers on a postcard, please. He stole the speed, took the tier 1 tower, got 4 kills, and got out alive after taking the scenic route around the map.
Just Dracula V things. I think that is the best way to describe that. Just Dracula V things. Oh god.
Alright, let's stop corpsing for a moment, Wiz. Even though that was very impressive by Dracula V. That is going to give Archipelago a lot of pressure now. Again, Gold Fury, no one's been able to take it. This is what I'm going to go back to. Neither team has been able to assert themselves long enough onto this area of the map, the Gold Fury pit, to where they can actually grab it. Both teams keep getting interrupted over and over and over again.
And I think this is actually a really good point from both teams, is that they are great at defending these objectives. Archipelago is normally better at taking them, yet Loyal know that this strat is happening and try to stop it every time. They've been doing successfully so far. They've still got a little bit longer to go. Nice little lover, going to be able to get at least one of those oracles out. Dharmic Pillar's used as well. Bill HK is not looking in a good position.
Yeah, unfortunately, he is going to get shot down by Ool's axes. Archipelago is going to be able to assert themselves a bit more on this area. Maybe they actually will finally attempt the Gold Fury. This has just been a tease at this point. Someone just please take it. Cammy, meanwhile, going to be helping Apex try and fight this 2-on-2 in the mid lane. Nothing really too big comes of it, but looks like there is going to be fighting in all 3 lanes.
Yeah, Kirip is trying to finish off this tier 1 tower on the left-hand side. Will be able to do it, taking a little bit of damage from it though. So maybe not expecting to see him dive onto Sixhook in the tier 2. However, everyone else is just sort of sitting back on the side of Team Loyal. This pressure that Archipelago has now suddenly escalated due to that insane Dracula V play. Gold Fury going to be started again. Apex is around. Bill HK has respawned as well. Meanwhile, Dracula V is just getting pushed out by Sir Eclipse finally in the solo lane.
Archipelago successfully nabbed the Gold Fury. No steal attempts here. Loyal now going to look to try and fight around Bill HK. The Wild Hunt was used. No one polymorphed, unfortunately, but neither was anyone hit with the Scylla ultimate, the Armor Monster. Both teams now just trading abilities, but neither team can get an authoritative action. Neither team can get anything done. Yes, we just saw the Gold Fury taken, but both teams have a problem just trying to ace the other. We're seeing the occasional shenanigans.
No.
As we're speaking of shenanigans, Dracula V once again just rolling around. What? How? Why?
Just Dracula V things. Now he's going to meet Sir Eclipse at the back camp. Just take quite a bit of damage here. He does have the portal to get back out. Going to be able to get a nice portal through there. Mid tier 1 tower is being taken down. Sir Eclipse can't really do anything to Dracula V here just because of how mobile he is. Again, portal out. There he goes. Just you can't get a Dracula V.
Dracula V Enigma, I have a theory about. It's as follows. Most people consider him, from the EM and NA scenes, to be a complete troll in ranked, and for the most part he can be. But in these games, and from talking with some of the players in SEA, they hold him in high regard. Like, a lot of these strategies, according to them, the players, are well thought out things that they have practiced in scrims and work out. And I mean, the evidence is here, it's working. how much of Dracula is a troll and how much of him is, like, not necessarily an idiot savant, but just a genius.
I mean, it's one of the things that we talk about a lot, and it's the fact that he knows these paths. He knows the solo lane like the back of his hand. He knows exactly where to portal to get from one side of the mana camp to the other. He knows where to go to if he needs to get an ultimate to quickly get back into lane or get out of lane. He even knows how he can go into the base and come out safely. I think quite clearly he's done this a lot and he knows what to do. Polyform couldn't come out onto Slicer Jr. though. He looks like he's in a dire position.
Yeah, Slicey gonna get turned into Elephant Sandwich there, courtesy of Cammy and the rest of Team Loyal. But Archipelago, not to waste a good opportunity, are gonna regroup and try and keep Team Loyal from rotating to the mid, while Dracula V, once again, just squaring off against Sir Eclipse in the solo. But let's keep an eye on this left side here. Bill HK gonna get hit with a Nemesis ultimate. Jimmy Maisie has good protections. Iron Monster not gonna do as much damage as Cammy may have liked because of the Nemesis ultimate taking half of Bill HK's protections.
Yeah, and that's just what Nemesis Ultimate does. You've also got Little Lover's Ultimate as well, which also reduces damage, I believe. I can't quite remember. It's either damage or protections. So you sort of end up in this middle of the fight without being able to take any damage or deal any damage. It's almost like you've just been silenced and you've just got to run around and hope that no one kills you. Is quite a painful little thing to deal with. However, Nox is going to be able to find Sir Eclipse here alongside Dracula V. Kami not quite going to get hit by that. Neither is going to get hit by the space and time. Close, but no cigar. However, mid camps are going to be taken down by Archipelago, and look at the graphs. We've been joking, we've been having a lot of fun. Meanwhile, Archipelago have been raking up the lead.
Yeah, 11k XP, 6k gold, territory advantage. And now they're going to be looking for a player advantage here in this fight, potentially. And even their builds, if you were to block out the scoreline with your hand, you could see that Archipelago is ahead just by their build. They're rushing Hyde, they're rushing Emperor's Armor, they're rushing Pythagorums, they are going for team fighting items that allow them to push through quickly. Mid lane, though, speaking of fighting, it's going to be a 2-on-2.
2-on-2 indeed, but this is Kirip and Jimmy. They are ahead, and they're going to be doing a decent amount of damage to Bill and Kami here. You also have Dracula V over on the solo lane, just fighting Sir Eclipse yet again. Slicey's even able to push up on the left-hand side. Nice route onto Kami there. Actually going to drop him to about half HP. It's a little bit above, but not quite. Pings coming out onto Slicey. Probably we need to start going in on a fight. Sixhook has just taken out the red buff. This could be the best time to go in on him.
Yeah, Sir Eclipse currently is just hanging out in the jungle. It felt like Loyal wants to go for the objective, but they can't go there to defend their own fortresses right now. Seek gonna get rushed 1 versus 3. Nemesis ultimate, he's gonna get completely destroyed. There's not much a Kerner that's gonna really do there. Can't hop over walls, has no real jump, so he's gonna be stick there and has to hold that death. The rest of the Team Law gonna rotate around. Frenzy gonna be deployed, and now they're gonna look to try and take the life of Slicey. Rooted, stuck, walled. Dead? Yes, there we go. Finally dead. And Archipelago will be repulsed from the structures. This tier 2 in the solo, though, might actually die to minions. No minions that come along and save it, but the damage was done to the push. Archipelago weren't able to get themselves what they wanted, but they might have to take a conciliatory portal demon. And that says something when your conciliation prize is a portal demon. Yeah,
indeed. However, Eclipse is around this. He knows it's been started up. He can hear them over the wall. I don't think Archipelago are aware. Nice Eagles rally over the wall. Going to try and do what he can. I'm a Monster isn't quite going to be able to secure it. Dracula V finishes off with the space and time. Eclipse is doing major damage to him, though, and he can't get away. Eclipse is finally going to shut down Dracula V.
Wants to be a little bit wary, don't want to get too aggressive. Neither team wants to give enemy the advantage to work with. Jimmy Maisie has to pop the Bracer to give himself a little bit of room to play. Actually, not Bracer, he has to pop the... I thought that was a Bracer, that was actually just his Shield Whiz that gave him all that healing. Yeah, you got to remember that it does actually return healing alongside providing a bit of a shield. So you do get a lot of stuff if you're not too careful and put everything in. It also does break with CC though, so you got to make sure you time it right and get everything going. Slicey though could get caught out yet again. Loyal rotating hard on him every time. Yep, Slicey Jr. did pop the Dharmic Pillars, going to buy Archipelago a bit more time to grab objectives in both the left and right lanes, but they may lose 2 people. The wall blocks the Nemesis Ultima, not able to do effective damage. Jimmy Maisie drops, and Archipelago's fight in the mid is going to completely collapse. They did take towers on the left and right, though. is that worth for the amount of losses that Archipelago is currently taking?
I mean, Little Lover is going to go down here. Eclipse is going to be able to get that kill, getting the 6 kill mark already. She's been doing pretty fantastic for the rest of this game, and I don't think it's worth it. Kirip's going to have to force to run away. Is going to change stance to be able to get rid of that disarm. Dracula V is around here. I don't know what he's doing. He's going off somewhere yet again. But the tier 1 tower is falling down. Kirip is on his own against 5. Nice. Mez coming in, looking for the damage. Is going to be able to get the jump away. Most likely looks stunning first, then jumping. But the tier 2 does fall. So Loyal are now starting to answer back here. Just a little bit, but they are answering back.
Yeah, they want to keep themselves in contention for the time being. Loyal, gonna go tit for tat. These guys are top dogs in the standings right now for a reason. They were hanging around the mid part for a while, but now they've finally found their stride. They're competing against the best of the best in the scene, Archipelago and Viral, and now they're going to be considering a push for themselves. Yes, Archipelago are now massively in the leading structures, but Team Loyal have a great team fighting composition if they can just avoid Little Lover's silence, which is the biggest thing for me. That silence has messed up Cammy, Apex, and Bill HK so often in setting up for fights because they can't get their abilities off.
Yeah, they've got to be really careful. Even if they do finally miss the silence from a Little Lover, they've got the one from Slicey as well, so you've got to be really careful. Although Nemesis ultimate onto Bill HK already.
Bill HK gonna drop fairly soon. Apex might follow shortly, although he will hit Jimmy Macy with the ultimate. And now Seek, 1 versus 3, gonna fall 2 for 0 to Archipelago. Gonna look for some more potentially. Sir Eclipse is hiding behind them. If Little Lover gets a root off, he can hold him for his team. Silence, not gonna hit. Root will hit. Slicey looks to remove obstacles, is gonna whiff, but the Ohm's gonna be good, gonna stop Sir Eclipse using abilities. Two-man stun. Meanwhile, off-screen, Jimmy Macy eliminates Apex. Eclipse eliminates Little Lover. And gets the double kill to Slicey. Triple kill to Kirip. He's absolutely going off right now.
Yeah, looking for Dracula V, who is going to be able to get the portal through the wall. Jimmy Massey as well, realizing this is not a fight they can win anymore all of a sudden. Sir Eclipse, I was talking about it earlier, he's just not been answered to. He's already got his Shoguns, he's got Mystical Mail, and he's just doing a ridiculous amount of damage. Already Jimmy Massey just taking quite a bit of damage. Nice heal from the shield will keep him up a little bit longer, but if he comes around again and Sir Eclipse has his damage stuff up, it's going to hurt him real hard. Bludgeon used is going to whiff. Nice disarm as well, but Jimmy Massey is just unable to do anything to Sir Eclipse. Look how little damage that Slice and Dice just did.
Yeah, the Slice and Dice is going to be ineffectual against Sir Eclipse. He has physical protections. He's got, as well, damage reduction once he gets the Spirit Robe online. He's going to be building into that. Plus, it's Bologna. Any auto attacks are going to get blocked if he has the shield stacks, too. The one upside of attacking a Bologna, you can opt to use the ultimate on him, but Jimmy Macy most of the time is going to be using his ultimate on Bill HK instead. It's a much better target. More protections than Sir Eclipse, and less health than Sir Eclipse, and a less level as well. So you can even use it to burn it on him, kill Bill HK, and then turn your attention to another target.
Not to mention as well, Bill HK has the Sovereignty in Heartward. He's gone for that sort of non-selfish build. You see... Like, you see the selfishness coming out from Slicey Jr., which, again, perfectly normal build. Gauntlet of Thieves here, so at least some sort of helping, but Emperor's Armor, Gem of Isolation, looking into a Shogun's Kasari. But, meanwhile, Bill HK is the true, I'm here, and I'm here to help you guys. I'm not here to sort of try and get my own kill, get some fancy plays. I'm no Dracula V, who just nearly wiped Sixlook in the backline. I don't know if you caught that. That was nearly a one-shot.
I puckered slightly, if I'm entirely frank with you. Bill HK, well, he existed for a moment, but then Reflect damage combined with Adamic Pillars will result in his immediate demise. And now Archipelago in a good position to at least strip the jungle, maybe even consider going for a Fire Giant. There are only 4 members alive for Team Loyal. One of them's currently having to fight Jimmy Macy. 2 of them are currently being zoned out, and a third is only just joining back into the fight.
But yeah, like I said, he's gone for the supportive build, which means if you kill him, you take away those protections from the rest of the team. It's a huge amount of wins coming out for the side of Archipelago if they ever take out Bill, and they've been able to do it consistently. Although when Bill has been here, you saw that ultimate over in the dual lane jungle back camps. That was a beautiful ultimate which just set the entire fight going the way of Loyal. However, now Archipelago is going to be able to press onto this tier 2.
Yeah, Bill HK. The Emperor's Armor is going to be fantastic for stopping the attack of the tower. Will make that pretty free.
Oh!
Ultimate threading through the gap. Will Bill HK die from this, though, from the Night Terror? 31. No! Enough protections on the extremely tanky Gabrakan will allow him to live with very, very low HP.
It was the HP 5. I saw it tick up just as it hit. It was just enough to bump him over and make sure he didn't die. Otherwise, he would have been even lower, potentially even dead. However, the Gold Fury is going to be started here by Archipelago, and Loyal just have no way of dealing with it. Instead, they're going to look for Mr. Dracula V, who is right next to Apex. Not quite going to... Actually, no, they did hit him. This could be huge.
Yep, we're going to be seeing Dracula V trying to get away. Doesn't have any reinforcements. Apex incredibly low. And again, Janus allows Dracula V to get out of here. Dracula, when he gets ahead early and is able to get rolling, he is infallibly powerful. You know, he's got a potion now. He's stacking his Book of Thoth. He's got the Rod of Tahuti. He is evading people left, right, and center. He can be almost anywhere on the map as well with the teleport rune. Team Loyal are going to have a hard time shutting down in fights, but left side here with Jimmy Maisie might be getting a little bit too aggressive.
Yeah, he is going to be able to get jumped on. Is going to use the last breath as well. Jimmy Massey is definitely dead. Can't be going to be able to finish him off, but he did nearly take out 6. So yet again, Dracula V strat. Although, this time, it's not Dracula V. Fire Giant's probably going to go to the way of Archipelago.
Archipelago going to grab that nicely. Meanwhile, Night Terror going to reduce the damage to Sir Eclipse. Wall, Dracula able to eliminate Village Cage using Unstable Vortex. Sir Eclipse now on the back foot. Cammy storming in using the ultimate. Cammy, though, deleted off the face of the earth. Sir Eclipse able to get revenge for his fallen comrade, but Kirib gets revenge for his fallen comrade instead. It's a Revenge-a-Palooza right now. Apex trying to take out Dracula, but look at the proc from that Polynomicon. Off screen, Seek eliminated by Kirib. Kirib gets himself a double kill. Dracula V trying to track down Apex, but the transition plus the portal is going to make this a very hard ask for Apex to try and get away. Going to try and burst him down instead. One attack, Cataclysm, mutual kill!
They're both going to go down. I can't say anything else.
If I'm going down, you're going down with me, Sunshine.
However, this mid-Phoenix is going to fall. Bill HK just cannot contest this. He is only level 14. He has Emperor's Armor, and that's it, and it's just going to get negated by the other Emperor's Armor from Slicey. He's already been immune out of his 3, and now suddenly Kerrip is just doing so much damage to this Phoenix that it's going to go down. But HK going to find a nice stun here. Yeah, already down on half HP. Luckily, the rest of Loyal has respawned, so it's going to be a little more difficult for Archipelago to push into that Phoenix. Yet, you've now got Jimmy Massey back. Dracula V is not dead for long. Little Lover's just come back to base. Yet Eclipse has just teleported in. This could be a kill on Slicey or Jimmy.
Sir Eclipse has to play the 2 versus 1, getting a hit with the Nemesis ultimate. Going to give Jimmy Maisie so much protection to work with. Bill HK trying to assist, but it's a 3 versus 1, and Kirp's present as well. 2 kills there for Kirp. Again, double, toil and trouble. Kirp pops the Aegis, pops the Purification to keep himself alive. Rest of the team helping him out to try and apprehend Apex. Apex starts to escape, dashes away through space and time, hits no one, but provides Dracula a means to enter the fight. Meanwhile, Seek deletes Kirp off the map. Cammy being silenced by Slicey Jr. Meanwhile, Seek getting silenced himself, courtesy of the Little Lover, but Little Lover gonna bomb Kiri, bomb Apex, gets a double himself. Jimmy Maisie contributes to Archipelago's second deicide within 3 minutes.
GG. Just GG.
Well
Bill
played.
HK is the
No
only one to come out of this. He's gonna be here a little bit longer. Chaos Titan gonna kill Dracula because why not? But Bill HK does not have anywhere near to be able to try and deal with it. Tremors are doing a lot of work, but there are still some fire menus funneling in here. Bill HK finally gonna go down to Little Lover here, as does the Titan. Just Dracula V things, guys. Just Dracula V things.
Alright, so he's the flashy one, but let's not focus in on, like, the kooky fancy thing so much, because look at the rest of the score lines. Slicey, perfect KD outside of the 6 deaths. You know, he has 20 assists. Kirip, Little Lover, 9 and 4. Let me actually scroll over the stats here. You know, 9 and 4. Ooh, Kirip, 8 and 2. Let's go look at the damage numbers. You know, damage numbers. You know, 22,000 damage for Jimmy Maisie, 21,000 for Kirip, 12,000 for Little Lover. You know, Dracula only got 17,000. Jimmy Maisie, you know, his KD is 5-4. It's not spectacular compared to the rest of the team, but he was shredding so many protections from Solar Eclipse, Bill HK, that the rest of the team can just go through them like tissue paper.
What we're talking about is, look at Solar Eclipse on the right-hand side. He's sat at nearly 24k, the highest in the game. Yet, unfortunately, whenever he was sort of in the fight, it was after a fight had finished. He came in, cleaned up a couple of kills, went back to base. He was rarely sort of there to finish everything off, try and make sure that Loyal had a winning fight overall. And after Bill HK just got absolutely destroyed and focused on this Kabrakan, he couldn't do anything. Again, this Ganesh taking away from Bill HK suddenly flipped everything around. He had a good couple of plays, but it wasn't anything near like we've seen his Ganesh. We've seen him take out Fire Giants and Gold Furies easily. But now instead, it's just a little bit less so. We need to see him on site maybe a little bit closer to what the Ganesh provides.
Yeah, a Kabrakan going into two of the best silences in the game is a very hard proposition, and unfortunately, for the side of Loyal, that isn't going to work out for them. They are going to be 1-0 down going into the final game of the day. Archipelago, are they going to get themselves the 2-0, or are Loyal going to claw this back to a 1-1 split? We'll find out in 5 minutes' time. final set of the day going to be coming your way. Loyal versus Archipelago. Archipelago in the lead in this best of 2, 1-0 up. Can Loyal get themselves to a 1-1 split, or can Archipelago drag this out to a 2-0?
Yeah, it's a shame that this is the final game of the day due to the competitive ruling, which, by the way, if you aren't following Esports Anchor on Twitter yet, go do that. That's where you get all of the information about the Southeast Asian tournament, which, again, you see how ridiculous some of the players are, but it's always quite fantastic to watch. So, again, go follow them on Twitter, find out what happened, and just come back ready for, not next week, because we're not here for DreamHack, but week after that. So, or even we're streaming tomorrow, aren't we? So come back tomorrow as well and come watch out. I keep, like, it's so long today.
This feels like Friday, because usually our format is the 1-3, but it's 3-3 because Super Week. But this is the last game of the day, and bans seem fairly simple. Archipelago banning out Ganesh. They do not want Bill HK. They have learned their lesson. They either take it for Slicey, or they get rid of it off the map.
Yeah, they know that they will pick it up if left open, because Bill is just fantastic on it. But Bologna is going to be left open, and again, Loyal are going to go pick that up. Doesn't matter, Dracula V knows how to deal with Bologna at this point. He's played it against it nearly every single time. Either Bologna or Osiris or some other random stuff that Southeast Asia wants to pull out of wherever it comes from. But Nemesis and Sun Wukong are going to come out from Archipelago. This is... I'm debating whether this is a Sun Wukong solo, because it doesn't feel like a Dracula V pick. However...
Yeah, this is... Alright, fine. Yanis and Terra for Loyal, they're going to nab themselves there.
Oh, wait,
this
sorry.
is going to be going to Cammy. This is going to
just want to actually update. Names are switched. It's actually Archipelago on the Order side. Wait, no, I've got it the wrong way around myself.
I believe you've self-bamboozled.
I've screwed it up. I self-bamboozled. I am great.
Hey, we're 1 for 1 on that today. That's good. But yeah, Cammy's going to be picking up the Yanis. He's got a very, very effective, more conventional Yanis than Dracula V, but still very much. If you saw some of the week 2, week 1 stuff of this split, he did some nasty stuff on that if you go back and watch the VODs. So very much look forward to his play, and Archipelago will have to keep that into account with their mid pick. They're going to go with the other meta pick right now for the mid lane, Sol. Sol is often seen quite heavily in the mid these days as a traditional mage who happens to also have great auto attacks for shredding towers. She's no longer the magical hunter that we used to see.
Yeah, a lot of people have realized now that suddenly Sol, although she isn't that sort of fatalist chase around god that she used to be, she still has some fantastic scaling. The Stellar Burst does a ridiculous amount of damage, and if you can get the ultimate combined together, it just absolutely wipes through an entire objectives. You can do insane amounts of damage with it, so people are now starting to pick her up a little bit more. Ravan and Circuit gonna see more bans out from the side of Archipelago.
I love the Fafnir ban whiz. I absolutely love this. Loyal immediately recognize, hey, if Fafnir gets on the table, you can buff up Sol, buff up Nemesis with the Coerce, their attack speed spikes, you get rid of it. Although Archipelago, in response, will actually opt for the Hades lock-in. That's going to solo lane Dracula V.
Yep, that is the Dracula V pick, so that might mean that this could be a Sun Wukong support. That would be interesting to see, because normally you don't see Sun Wukong supports too much, since they don't provide a huge sort of team fight oriented style. You do have the Ganesh and the Kepris and the Gabrakans, who aren't, again, that fantastic in team fights, but are great in picking single targets. Wukong, I wouldn't say is down that sort of line. Again, personally, I hate Wukong. I don't feel like he is a good character, just because of the way his kit works. Yeah. Neith.
How long's it been since... Neith is in the same pool as Athena and Apollo. They're all good, but you rarely ever see them.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite interesting to see, and maybe quite possibly, could this be a Neith mid?
Possibly. We'll find out when we actually load in. Let's have a look at the builds. It is going to be a Neith...
Mid.
Mid! Yep, it's going to be mid. Look at the positioning of Kirip. Alright, so Little Love are going to be taking Neith mid. Neith is rarely ever seen in games in general. When you do see her, it's more traditional to see her in the mid lane, because she's an ability hunter by trade, and most of those style of hunters are really good in the mid because they're basically physical mages.
And not to mention as well, it's such a good composition against a Giannis, because what happens is, as soon as the Giannis sort of approaches the wave, you get that early root, you have Jimmy in the lane. You don't want to get hit by that root because you will probably die very early on. However, this setup does mean that it could be a little bit risky for Dracula V on this left-hand side, especially as Hades is quite weak level 1, only gets slightly better at level 2, level 3. And over in the solo lane, you can see right now, Archipelago are actually putting on quite a nice bit of pressure here. Although Soul, Sun Wukong, going to be a little bit difficult to maintain that pressure too quickly.
Yeah. But in the duo lane, Archipelago are maintaining pressure themselves. Slicey goes down to half, but they're going to stop being pushed back by Team Law. But look at the bombs that Kirit can launch here. Now, the duo lane, the Sol is a slightly different dynamic, but it looks like the Fire Giant here, squaring off Jimmy Maisie, going to be put under heavy threat here. He can only run for so much. Solar Eclipse and the Apex just have way too mobility, although the speed buff, Apex misses on the double tap. Oh, he dropped that. That's so unfortunate for Apex.
Yeah, if you'd hit that double tap, that could have been a huge amount of damage. Now, Dracula V going to be able to try and defend this buff. Not going to be able to do it successfully, though. Solar Eclipse is going to have a nice little lead early on, but got to remember, this is still a Bologna. Hades can do ridiculous things if used correctly.
Kirib being chased by a frenzied Bill HK and Seekser. Wants to keep him a little bit careful. But Slicey is going to be thankful that Little Love is coming over to help out with the gank here. Bill HK going to get the root follow through. Seek not able to follow with any auto attacks. He did miss that last one, but Archipelago looking to counteract with a gank. Kirib single auto attack. First blood goes to Archipelago, but not before Seek avenges his fallen comrade by killing off Slicey.
Yeah, and that's going to be a pretty nice little thing as Apex actually finishes off Dracula V over in the solo lane. Kami now as well, rotating back after realizing he wasn't going to be able to participate in that kill. Instead now, we're going to see everybody get a little bit further. We've got the ultimates coming up very shortly. Everyone's just slowly hitting level 4 here. Still got Bill K on level 2, sadly, for him. Not going to be able to get anywhere near that Terror's Blessing anytime soon. However, Solar Eclipse, got to be careful of Slicey.
Yeah, Slicey is going to look for the kill himself with the help of Dracula V. Solar Eclipse is about to get his ultimate. He's going to be very close to it. So once the wave actually happens, he's halfway there. Once he gets that, it's going to be very hard for Dracula to actually lock down a kill inside the Pillar of Agony because you just jump out every single time because they are on somewhat similar cooldowns. So that dynamic in that lane is going to get very, very skew whiff for Solar Eclipse if he can keep out of the lane and not get poked constantly by Dracula V.
Also note that Apex is now level 5 as well. Eclipse also just hitting for the Eagles Rally. So suddenly these ultimates are going to start coming on board and be quite difficult. Sixer was a little bit aggressive over in the duo lane. Unfortunately for him though, just has no real CC lockdown without Bill, and even then it's a little bit minimal. Almost got to hope for the Apex rotation to come in, and maybe then something could happen, but otherwise I think this is mostly just going to be quite a stale lane, unless Jimmy Massey rotates on Sixer a lot.
The only effective CC Seek has, outside of the heavy slows, is the attempts to try and use the cripple on the 3. And that can be very, very effective. But at the same time, the enemy's got to overextend so much to let you roll and do that. So most of the time, Rams will just rely on, oh, you're trying to duel me, I've been able to evade your front-loaded damage, I'm going to pop the Astral Arrows and slow you to a crawl and then kill you.
Not to mention as well, Kirit's 3 is not affected by cripple. Apex are going to go up into the sky here, looking for the speed buff steal. Is actually going to be able to find it, doing a lot of damage to Jimmy Massey here, through space and time used as well. Massey is going to be going down here, most likely. Bill HK, though, going to get stunned.
No! How? Jimmy Massey somehow manages to get out. Now Archipelago are going to look for the counterattack possibly, but Team Loyal's reinforcements in the form of Solar Eclipse come in, but Dracula V's made his presence known, and with a heavily damaged Team Loyal, the rest of Archipelago there, even though it's a 3 versus 4, Team Loyal really doesn't want to risk it because, of course, Bill HK is terror, he can heal, but that heal is not that much. It's not burst healing, it's not Hell, it's not Sylvanas, it's Monolith. It ticks for 6 right now. the way he's leveled it, 6 HP per tick. That's not a lot.
Yeah, you do not want to risk it like a rich T-Biscuit. However, Kirip, though, going to be able to find a decent amount of damage onto Sixoak. Looking for the last couple bits of Stellar Burst. Actually going to be able to get him before he gets into the ultimate. Eclipse is actually TP'd over here. Not going to find the disarm over the wall. Looking for the bludgeon damage. Is going to be able to hit it. Massey's trying to slow him down as much as possible. Eclipse actually forced to use Terra's Blessing to get out.
Well, I'm surprised about 2 things. 1, that you go that far into your pun backlog. 2, the fact that he managed to get out of there alive. A lot of people on Archipelago are getting into situations that they're being let out of. I'm not sure if it's a case of them juking to save their lives, or is it Loyal slacking on the offensive?
Yeah, it just feels like Archipelago is able to escape just by the skin of their teeth. Every single time. We've seen it with Dracula V last game. Yep, solo lane. Actually going to see Dracula V very low on HP. Eclipse is going to be able to finish him off. Nice kill from there. So finally making sure that he gets locked down. Soon as this got called out, though, Golf Jury has been started and stopped by Archipelago.
Yeah, Archipelago recognize, hey, rest of Team Loyal is there. They've probably got at least Giannis' ultimate. They may not know the cooldown on Seek's ultimate quite yet. So they take the safe route and instead don't go too crazy. Team Loyal going to deward this right side junction. And maybe they're going to get dove instead. So Eclipse going to be chased here by Jimmy Mazy. Apex doesn't help him. He's running off on his own. Turn around, Apex. Help your teammate. Deward later.
Yeah, now Eclipse is 1 hit from death. Massey is still trying to finish him off. Finally going to be able to take him out. Slicey Jr., though, forced to use the Bracer to heal himself up a little bit there. The Lover on his own in the mid lane, yet since Apex is retreating, Kami and Bill just can't really go in. And yet again, we see Kirip has rotated. They really want to try and get more kills.
Yeah, Team Loyal, their mid laner is half health, almost out of mana entirely, so he's going to have to try and keep evasive. Kirip pops the Sunstrike, doesn't get any real effective damage with it, but meanwhile, Dracula V gonna attempt to contest the speed buff. Apex will not successfully grab that offer for himself. Dracula V is going to be able to float away with the speed buff in hand. Dracula V jumps towards the minions instead of away. He's trying to juke where he can. He's staying around the minions to be able to heal himself up, and now he's got a 3-man conga line behind him.
Yeah, and that's going to be the Ram Snipes, and only 2 of them hitting, but Bludgeon as well going to be able to secure the kill. At least he got a speed buff, but again, stretching a little too far out. This Hades is not as mobile as Giannis. Eclipse at least going to be able to pay the price since Eagle's Rally was used. Apex does have his ultimate if he needs to use it to get out. Gonna use the TP though, just to try and make sure he gets a little bit of speed. Terra's Blessing forced as well to secure that escape. Monolith to heal him up a little bit. Not going to be able to go in though, so again, Terra's Blessing is not being able to use for these engages. It's much more these sort of get a single player out, which is not what you want to see a Terra's Blessing used. You want to see it on the huge engagements.
Apex!
Oh, Apex, why are you going in? Apex, no. Do not do this, Apex. Why?
And he doesn't have a Was that a BM envelope? What the?
Okay.
Team Loyal! A BM dive torn Anvil of Dawn. Was that a distraction play for Cammy? That can't have been. I'm giving them way too much credit.
I don't know. I don't know.
I am so confused right now. Apex was dove on in the dueling with multiple ultimates, including Jimmy Mazy's. Gets out for free, and then goes back in, doesn't follow up with any abilities. I think he might have been just a below mana threshold.
He had no mana,
hammer,
yeah.
And he just walks away. And then somehow Cammy has the right timing to get the kill. And now Dracula V's... now Dracula V's doing the whole proxy farming, the tier 2 thing again. How many people is he going to attract towards him? Just circles. It looks like Loyal's calling him out. They're not sending too many people to deal with him. Dracula reads that and instead is going to go back, understanding that the bait has not been taken.
Yes, Slicey is now trying to deal damage onto Bill HK, already down to half HP. Sixhook as well, taking a little bit of poke. They wanted to go for the Gold Fury. You saw their setup around it. You can actually see the strat sort of slowly building out. Dracula V sitting over on this solo lane side, trying to push them out, trying to distract them. He's actually waiting here a little bit longer, but no one's falling for the bait. They just know that he's there. They're pointing it out, saying, okay, as long as we know where he is, we know where he's going. He's not going to be able to do a whole lot here, so instead, just accept it, let him do this proxy farm, and just try and get some kills. Apex, though, going to be caught out just before he gets into the air. Little Lover going to be able to get that kill, and now over in the duo lane, Bill's very low.
Kirib able to eliminate Bill HK with the help of the Frenzy and the red buff. Seek now, all on his own. Meanwhile, off-screen, Cammy eliminates Jimmy Maisie with a through time in space. Back to the left. Seek, final shot. Gonna be used, almost kills Kirib. Astral Arrow is gonna pierce through, gets the kill himself, but gets mutual kill by Kirib. Stellar Burst back to the mid lane. Little Lover running for his life.
Oh, Kami's going to get rooted out by Little Lover with a beautiful one. However, unfortunately, it's not going to be enough. So Eclipse takes Little Lover out. Dracula V is back in, but he's not going to be able to do anything. Eclipse just going to bully him out, do what he can. Actually doing quite a decent amount of damage here. Nice Fear, though. Going to be able to keep him alive a little bit longer. Easel Rally was, it was right there.
To put it politely. It was a thing that existed for a moment. It didn't really do much, though. Eclipse able to grab that speed buff for Apex. Apex going to have to teleport away. Dracula, the Jimmy and Maisie are there, and they will be able to fight this better than Sir Eclipse and Apex, while both of their big damaging abilities can simply just be silenced.
Yep. I mean, again, this is another problem. It's like the Nox and the Ganesh we were talking about last game, but instead of it being a silence, it's a fear instead. And it's almost worse because silences you at least have the basic attacks afterwards. Fears, you have quite an extended fear, especially with that boosted Hades fear. And you just do a ridiculous amount of damage as well. Kami, though, got to be careful in this mid lane. Slice and Dice and Ultimate going to be used here. Kami's on such low HP, looking for one last little basic attack. Apex is going to be able to get up into the air, but I'm not sure he wants to go back down. Yet again, this is Apex. We don't know what he's about.
Okay, good. He took the safe option this time. Very good. Little Lover going to charge up the ult. Going to just consider it for a moment or two. Meanwhile, the duo lane here, Kirit pushing hard against Seek's tower, but he's going to be able to retort of his own couple of attacks.
Yeah, I don't think Kirip is going to be able to do anything here because, like I said, it should just be a stall lane mostly. Slicey, though, a little bit low here, taking out the oracles at least. Eclipse knows that he's there. He's actually going to lazy back. This could be really bad. Eagles Rally into the bludgeon. Eclipse going to be able to find Slicey. Meanwhile, in the duo lane, Kirip's getting chased down.
Ooh, Cammy! Okay, I'm not going to accuse him of aimbot, but these snipes are starting to get a little suspicious, if I'm entirely honest with you, Wiz.
Just a little. That was a beautiful snipe. Nice backflip
Seek
from Little
almost was
Lover
killed by
there.
the Well Weaver.
Oh.
Little Lover tried for Seek, but he wasn't able to charge it fully because he was being pressured. Now in the solo, Bill HK being chased by Dracula V. Dracula V has the minions to explode, but the reach on Devour minions hits Bill HK anyway, even though he was far away from the minions.
Yep, and that was just going to be enough damage. Bill HK cannot do anything versus Dracula because Dracula V has been doing this. As you said, he's been in the solo lane behind the tier 2 just proxy farming. He's down level 14 before it. Meanwhile, Bill HK is only sitting on 9 behind his counterpart. Quite behind. We haven't even been able to look at the graphs yet. If we go over and have a look at them, 4,000 XP lead, 3k gold lead. Even though Archipelago are behind in kills and they feel a little bit safer than they normally play, this is still a very big lead for them because Dracula V has been doing so much work in that solo lane. And just wait for him to take out a Phoenix or look for another tower. You've got the 2 tier 1s very low as well. Meanwhile, Archipelago, I don't think they've even been able to get a single bit of tower damage. Wrong, Kami got 156 so far.
There's fighting in all 3 lanes here, Wiz. I have a feeling that Apex able to actually juke the Sunstrike in the duo. In the mid as well, they're looking like it's going to be a pincer maneuver by Archipelago themselves. Cammy, Bill HK is going to be a 2-1-4. Cammy able to jump through. Terra's Blessing, courtesy of Bill HK, going to give him a bit more room to play with. Hit with the full charge Whirl Weaver. Luckily, Cammy going to be there in time to use 3 times space to give him a little bit of room to work with, and Bill HK able to body block any resulting auto attacks.
But now the tier 1 tower on this left-hand side is going to fall. They're going to look to clear the wave, push out, maybe even look for this tier 2, because Kirip and Slicey are doing a lot of damage here. You've also got Apex just fighting Dracula V. Nice stun here, going to keep him alive a little bit longer, but Kami has walked himself into a pillar of agony. Dracula V just has no damage right now, looking for the fear, doesn't have any healing. Actually going to be able to get a little bit off, but Kami going to fit, not quite die just before then. The gold cherry is on the table though.
And there's the downside to the kooky strategies of Dracula V. If you overextend when you don't have an insurmountable lead early on, you are very, very big prey. Sir Eclipse gonna be thinking about grabbing his own prey, specifically either a god or the steal of the objective. The Love gonna be the first target. Rooted, stunned, solar bursted. Although a over-the-top ultimate gonna result in the kill of the Love, but will anything follow up from it? Jimmy Maisie flowing in. Sir Eclipse has reinforcements coming in from the rest of Loyal. It's gonna be a 3 versus 3 around the goal for Europe. 4 on 3. Eclipse came in. Sunstrike takes out Sir Eclipse. It's back to a 3 versus 3.
Slicey though has very little mana, but it's gonna be enough to knock up Apex. Little more damage is needed. Nice teleport over the wall. Kami already on half HP because he's been taking so much damage from Kirib. He has mana. He can use a couple of portals to get out if he needs to. He also has that 3 to be able to get him away. Nice portal, but it's still going to get hit by the bluestone as Apex finishes off with a double tap. Slicey's back in now. Kirib is still here with very little mana. Slicey's going to be able to go in looking for Sixer. I don't think they're going to be able to find anything though because Kirib just has so little to be able to follow up. Oh, never mind.
Seek up. Now the World Weaver's just going to sit there. You can see waiting with bated breath. I'm not sure if Needles can breathe for Seek, and he's stuck inside. You know, even with Bill HK trying to shield him with the walls, there's only so much he can do. That's going to be a 2-for-1 trade in favor of Archipelago, but Loyal still doing well enough to where they're going to consider actually going in again, this time on Slicey.
I mean, Slicey hasn't got anything though. He's just used his ultimate. Is going to be able to get the ult form out at least because it just came up. However, wanted to just say a little thing there. I'm a little bit disappointed that Bill didn't know this, but the World Weaver is actually a projectile. You can get in the way of it, even though Ram's up in the sky. You can just walk into it and it'll stun you.
Yeah, although, let's see if Sir Eclipse understands the idea of the projectiles blocking Dracula V's hits to Kami. He will for the most part, especially with Terra's Blessing from Bill HK.
Oh,
Sir Eclipse needs to assist. Oh no, Kami almost got out, but the fear into the burst damage is going to result in the death of Yanis. Dracula V will sacrifice his life getting that, but Kami's going to be down as well for the upcoming fight, and that's big because one of the biggest ultimates on Loyal, one of the most important ones through time and space, is not available for 30 seconds.
And this Portal Demon is going to be started up. Slicey is here. He wants to try and stop it. Is not going to be able to steal it away. But Apex is going to go immediately into ultimate and immediately dies already. The Lover getting focused down by Sir Eclipse. Nice backflip away. Eclipse is taking a lot of damage here. Forced to use the braces to keep alive. Meanwhile, Slicey is trying to do what he can to Sixhook. Nice Terror Ball. Going to keep them in the middle here. Slicey actually falling before he gets into the ultimate. Kerib, though, in the back line.
Ooh, oh, nope, swing and a miss there. Almost gets it, but the hit doesn't save Seek from his demise from Little Lover. That's going to be a 2 for 3, or sorry, a 1 for 3 in favor of Archipelago. And that's going to give Archipelago a lot of room to play with in terms of their choice of objectives. They could go for a Fire Giant, but of course there's a Portal Demon there for Loyal. They could just send Bill HK or Kami through it. Archipelago instead take the smarter option of stripping the jungle camps out of Loyal's side of the map, and they're probably going to strip the tier 2 in the mid as well for free.
They could maybe even get this tier 2 on the left-hand side, but instead deciding to play it safe again, looking for these camps. And now there are 2 members of Loyal in a very bad position. Unfortunately, though, they're not going to be able to go for Bill HK. They're looking for Kami. They want to take him out. He's already on half HP. Massey is nearby. Little Lover is chasing him as well. He cannot lazy back. Instead, Sir Eclipse is just going to try and push up. Little Lover is now the one in a little bit of danger. Disarm used, nice route as well. Little Lover needs to use the backflip, but the backflip is slower than the Eagle's rally, so he's just going to try and walk away and hope for the best. Nice dodge, backflip used as well, but Eagle's rally going to come into the wall. The tier 1 tower is not going to be enough to try and distract these. Sir Eclipse is finally going to go down, but there's a big fight starting elsewhere.
Yeah, Loyal going to be looking to try and get this 4 versus 2. Ultimates on the side of Archipelago, but this entire time, Dracula V has been using this chaos to his advantage, pushing, but you can see Loyal clock that this time. They don't make the mistake that Orphan Squad make last set. They send people back to contend, and because of that, they probably won't lose a Phoenix, and the rest of the people on this front right side of the map could still keep fighting. Apex dropped to just about under a third HP, dropped to 0 HP, courtesy of Kirip. And now Bill HK and Cammy have a bit of a choice to make. Do they stand and fight, or do they retreat?
Well, you know what they're planning to do. They're going to retreat. Dracula V, though, on this duo lane side. He's gone. Sixer going to be able to get that kill. Actually saw the through space and time used as well. Fire Giant's going to get started up by Archipelago here, but Bill spots it.
Terra stealing an objective, unlikely. Her contesting it, though, very likely. Gonna buy Loyal some time to try and keep it under wraps for the time being. Well, Weaver gonna be used, but it's gonna be wasted because he's gonna go down anyway. Cammy's gonna drop as well. This is disastrous for Loyal. Archipelago is already on the precipice of taking a Fire Giant. Now it's pretty much all but guaranteed if they get one more kill onto Sir Eclipse.
Yeah, Eclipse is looking for it. Apex is going to go up into the ultimate. Nice Eagles Randy going to be able to keep him alive a little bit longer. Massey actually has to be careful here. Not going to be able to find the kill. And now Kerip as well, not going to get hit by that double tap, but Apex is very nearly about to kill him. Looking for what he can. Nice cripple onto Slicey. Very nearly dead. Apex forced to use the purification here. Kerip going to be able to get a sweet double tap onto him. And now the Lover as well on his own. Slicey is nowhere near good enough HP to try and contest this. They didn't get this red buff either, so Apex is able to really contest this if they want to. Sixer just going to back off in his lane. Apex going to clear the minions and then back off. Just everyone's backing away, and this game is now even again. 9k XP difference and 8k gold in favor of Archipelago, sure, but it feels even. Like, completely even.
And that's because both these teams are top of the league. It is Loyal is ahead by a point, but Archipelago and Viral are not far behind. These are the top dogs of Southeast Asia Invitational going at it, and these teams know each other well. They know each other on the god level, the picks and bans level, the player level, from playing each other so much in scrims and ranked, and their prior history, but even before this tournament started. Right side, Dracula V looking to pull Seek in. Now it's going to be a 1 versus 3. Terra's Blessing from Bill going to give safe passage to Team Loyal's AD carry. Sir Eclipse, meanwhile, dueling against Slicey Jr., while the rest of Archipelago rotates to the right, but Dracula V able to heal up because Hades things, because the minions were around.
Yep, just Hades things. Apex going to get stunned out here. Not going to get hit by the root, though. And now the rest of Loyal are going to back away. Sixer is back. Dracula V is going to wipe Bill HK. Very nearly dead, though. I think, was that Apex going into his ultimate? That was indeed. Probably looking for Dracula V in this. The Eagles Rally going to miss, and the swing of the hit to be able to finish him off. Slicey as well, running away, looking for the Brace, to trying to get himself alive a little bit longer. Sixer cannot find the basics, and now he's met Kerip. This is not a good place to be in. He's already had to use his Aegis. Stellar Burst going to be able to completely destroy him off the table, and now the Phoenix is on the map for Archipelago.
Yeah, that's the Stellar Burst slowing him into the Sunstrike. You know, we talk about, you know, one of the reasons... Oh, hang on, scratch that. Cammy is going to be completely demolished by Archipelago. Archipelago able to start enforcing their will where they want, although Apex is getting a bit of tunnel vision here. Wants to chase that Lover stun. Couple auto attacks. The 1-2 punches. Good. And he's going to get him. Notice that little trick there Apex did. He auto-attacked and immediately cancelled in. These auto-attack cancels to veteran players are second nature, but as you know, I'm not... Actually, we'll talk about that in a moment. Kirip here, now going to be able to threat himself.
Yeah, Apex is going to get chased down by Massey, actually. Kerip did get away just nice and safely. Sir Eclipse has joined the Apex Predator alongside Bill HK. Massey forced to use Purification there due to the nice little route from Bill. Slicey going to try and chase down Apex, looking for it. Ultimate going to come out from Apex already, yet again. Probably going to be looking for Kerip if he can. Nice to separate, though, just making sure that he cannot do it. So Apex is going to force to back off. Now Portal Demon can be started yet again. Meanwhile, in Dracula Land...
Dracula V doing Dracula things. Apex, though, is getting targeted with a World Weaver. Slicey goes up into the Somersault Cloud, going to try and take him out. Archipelago still looking for a Fire Giant. It's absolute chaos all around the map. Through time and space for Portal Demon. Portal Demon is going to be grabbed for Loyal, courtesy of Sir Eclipse's Bludgeon. Jimmy Maisie now 1 versus 3, 2 versus 3 because Dracula becomes to reinforce. 2-man stun into the unstable vortex from Cammy. Into the portal is going to be 2 dead members of Archipelago. Loyal now have a perfect chance here to try and make a comeback. Little Lover going to get hit with a heavy 1-2 punch. Aegis's third shot is not going to be available because Seek did opt to cancel instead. Looks for the kills. Couple attacks. Is going to be hit flush. Team Loyal have a golden opportunity now for a Fire Giant, and they sent Sir Eclipse to stop Slicey from getting tricky.
Yep, Kirip should not be able to contest this whatsoever. He doesn't have the Sunstrike. He only has that Stellar Burst. Nice Apex, going to be able to try and lock him out a little bit longer. Still half HP right now. This could be stolen away to Archipelago. Slicey's back here as well. He knows he's right behind Six, so they're looking for this. Kirip actually going to try and take out Kami. Does it successfully, but they're still attacking the Fire Giant. No one's finished this off. Bill HK is the only one attacking it right now because Slicey is focusing down Six. So Kami in the backline still taking a lot of damage. Eclipse is here. Finally, Loyal going to be able to take out that Fire Giant. Apex going to go into the sky. Kirip should fall here. And yet the Disapparate comes out. Eclipse is going to be nearby. Apex finishes off Slicey. Gets a beautiful double tap for a double kill. And now Loyal can finally start looking for some towers. Because guess what? We're 25 minutes in. They still haven't taken a single tier 1 tower.
Now, I don't remember the hotkey specifically, but I believe you can actually look at structure damage.
F3.
F3.
Or 9, I believe. It's 9 or 0.
That is structure damage. Okay, so Team Loyal have had structure damage. We're not at the point where they've been locked out. But Sir Eclipse, however, could get locked out of life here, but at the same time, Dracula V going to be dueling out against Apex, fighting in 2 parts of the map. Apex almost drops. Sir Eclipse drops. Apex might follow. No, Dracula V gets taken out by Seek before he can finish off Apex. Apex able to dash away just in time. Archipelago, meanwhile, looking for a Gold Fury. Think about it for a moment, but decide, hey, Team Loyal's lurking around the area, so let's just move back instead. Little Lover just attack it a couple of times, feeling confident because they know Slicey's teleporting in. Seek gonna roll away. Got about a third of HP. Goes up, but now he's on the clock. Can Team Loyal come to his aid?
No. Oh, actually, Aegis is here. Bill HK taking a little bit longer for him to fall, but Six finally does drop down. Slicey doing what he can, doing as much damage as possible. Forced to go into the ultimate already. Gotta use that cloud to keep it alive a little bit longer. Now gonna join Little Lover. Nice frenzy though. They want to go in. They want to try and take him out. Not gonna be able to find it though because he's just too fast in that Eagle form.
Yeah, he's gonna be able to try and give himself a bit of room, because the last thing you want to do is die at this late in the game. You know, we're almost 30 minutes in, and, you know, oh, actually, we'll talk about it in a moment. Jimmy Mazer going to pop the ultimate, going to give himself some protections, which will give him time to try and go in, but the rest of Archipelago isn't there to promptly follow up, so he takes the safe option and moves back. I like the patience. Apex up in the air. What can he do with this? Stuns Kirip.
Yep, drops him down to a third HP already. Slicey just doing what he can to annoy the rest of Loyal. Dracula V gonna come on with a nice ultimate. Pillar of Agony, no, gonna be able to miss. Apex nearly dead, just gonna be able to use the teleport out. Forced to use Purification as well, even though he didn't really need to. Bill HK gonna be chased down, looking for it. Nice snipe though. Gonna be able to destroy Stickshook instead, and looking for Apex though. Now Eclipse is on this left hand side. He is on his own. I think they know he's there as well. They want to try and shut him out, but instead the Phoenix is probably going to be started up soon.
Yep, Sir Eclipse is in the back. Archipelago poised to give themselves the 2-0. Loyal desperately looking to try and hold, pull out the defensive success that they have in the past. Words are hard. Team Loyal now. Lost the Phoenix. Are Archipelago going to go for the 2 Phoenixes, or are they going to go straight for the win? Slicey getting a very aggressive, peeling attention away from the rest of Archipelago, while Archipelago going to focus down Kami. Rest of Archipelago going to move back instead. They are not going to go for another Phoenix. They understand it might be a little too risky, or at least they feel like it might be a bit too risky. I
mean, Slicey is very nearly dead, and so they just want to see him get out as Dracula V falls yet again. Apex is just doing a fantastic work on this Thor, looking for Slicey as well. However, I think the Eagle form is going to be coming up soon. Nice little Stellar Burst going to force Apex back a couple of seconds away. Terror's Blessing is just chasing them down. Slicey actually going to fall to Apex yet again. Looking for Kira. Nice stun though. He's on the other side of the wall. He can't actually get enough. Nice Separate going to be able to keep Kira alive a little bit longer. Eclipse is chasing. Disarm going to be able to hit him. Stellar Burst used, and everything is going to fall down onto Kira, and he is dead.
Yeah, now Team Loyal have the power play. The closest respawning member of Archipelago, Dracula, up in 20 seconds. Team Loyal somehow pull out the miracle defense they have in prior sets, as I was trying to explain before. And now they're going to be looking for their own miracle push. Gonna pop the frenzy. Here we go. Bill HK gonna start tanking the Phoenix. Needs to move away and let the minions do their job. Shell used. Jimmy Macy dropped to half. Stunned courtesy of Sir Eclipse. In comes the rest of Team Loyal to try and take this out. Archipelago filing out of spawn. Explosion. Pillar of Agony. Pulling 2 members in. Is this gonna be the death of Apex? Yes, it will. Draculity gets a double. And now Archipelago surging out of base. Looking for the counter attack.
Yeah, Kami is already too low. Sixhook as well, forced to use the rollout away. Jimmy Massey is a little bit low as Little Lava finishes off Sir Eclipse over on this right-hand side. Kami going to be able to get a nice portal away here. Sixhook is looking to escape here. He needs to be able to get that rollout coming up soon. Slicey is chasing down. He wants to get the Tiger Stun onto him. Sixhook going to be able to use that rollout again. It's running all the way to his base past the Phoenix. Eagles actually going to be used from Slicey here. Slow down. Purification used to keep him alive a little bit longer. Aegis used as well. That is huge. And now it looks like Archipelago can potentially go in for the win here. Kami and Sick are the only ones alive. This could be a big deal.
Team Loyal was so close to getting themselves the 1-1, but Archipelago now surging in. They just lost Slicey effectively because he has to go back to base, but Team Loyal have lost 3. They're about to lose 4. They're about to lose a 5th member of their team. Actually, I was going to say the Titan, but they actually just lost Seek there, and they're about to lose the actual Titan here. Archipelago picked themselves up the 2-0.
That was not easy for them. Compare it to last game. That was much harder. Yet they do eventually pull that out. And that's going to be a big win for them. They needed that. Because you need to start taking these extra little points to go above everyone. As I believe we're probably going to be able to go straight to the standings here. Since we don't actually have the ending. And you can see Archipelago right on top with 11 points below.
But this midfield is so competitive because of Get On My Level's performance there, because Loyal was shut out. Now, it's a 3-horse race for second, and Archipelago has managed to secure their spot in 14th. Blitz, of course, is out of the running. It is going to be Team Return taking their place. And Orphan Squad, I think they're mathematically out of playoffs.
I would need a little bit of time to think about it, but I'm pretty sure you are correct. And of course, Blitz sitting down at the bottom there. Unfortunately for them, since they are unable to field a roster, they are out. I believe we might be bringing up Team Return tomorrow, though. So they are the 7th place team. So that'll be quite interesting to watch and potentially see them come out and play a decent amount of time. So we'll have to see what Return can do, but Archipelago sitting all the way at the top there. That was a fantastic little set for them. Dracula V is just still the best person to watch. I think he just pulled up so many insane things. But Viral, Get My Level, and Loyal are very close by still. They're nowhere sort of... You can't say that Archipelago have the win because we still got a couple of weeks to go.
Yeah, of course, not only the extra couple of weeks, you know, we have 2 more weeks, week 6 or week 7, but this is week 5. It's the super week. Because of DreamHack, we don't broadcast during then. So tomorrow, we've got 3 more games. It's going to be Blitz Archipelago, which unfortunately is off the table. So it's going to be Team Return Archipelago, I'm being informed. They're going to actually play tomorrow. Then Orphan Squad Viral, then Get On My Level Viral. Viral have 2 opportunities to nab themselves the 3 points required to skip ahead of Archipelago. Archipelago have an opportunity to secure their lead if Viral get anything other than 2 wins. So I am super curious about tomorrow's results. This is going to be critical about this side of DreamHack, what the standings will be.
Yeah, not to mention as well, we've got Get On My Level. If they can take out Team Viral and hope that Return can do something against Archipelago tomorrow, that could be an interesting thing to watch. We'll have to see what turns out. But like you said, it's going to be tomorrow. What time?
It is going to be the standard, I believe it is, if I remember correctly, my Asian time, 1700 Asian time. I'm probably going to be corrected. Basically, it's going to be 2000 Asian, I can't remember the actual specific time zone designation was. I'm choking. SGT, thank you.
Yeah, 8 p.m. SGT tomorrow, otherwise known as 2 p.m. CEST or 1 p.m. BST. some really early hour Eastern.
Why did you
Just-
ask me to do the time? You know, off the back of your head. God.
Because I was
You're
trying to
horrible.
make you look good, okay? And you failed. Just like
you're the
Woofin
worst.
did earlier this morning, you failed.
Sign
'cause
this
you
out. I'm rage
suck.
quitting. Goodbye.
Alright, we're going to be able to see you tomorrow, like we said, at 8 PM SGT. Don't go anywhere. My name's Lord WizKid. I've been joined today by Verbalocity. We also had Woofin earlier on. Thank you to him for popping in. We will see you tomorrow.